Hello and welcome to a momentous occasion for us here in the Pokepals Podcast studio as we hit our 20th episode here in the studio. I am Mush, joined by the other two Magnemites that form our Magneton. It is, of course, Eddie, stronger than an Ursaluna and kinder than a Chansey Bear, and the one man that will make you moan when he is in the zone, it is Tone Zone. Gentlemen, 20 episodes deep here in the podcast studio. How are we?
It's an absolute pinch me moment. I thought, oh yeah, we'll get maybe 3 or 4 done. It'll fizzle out, but we'll have a wonderful time whilst we do it. And now we're at episode 20 with no sign of slowing down. We've got some amazing things planned. And it's just nice being back in the studio. It feels like we go through waves of rapid fire card shows, and then life gets in the way, and then it's can we please record? And it's I can do this day, but only if it's a full moon, and only if Mush is wearing white socks on a Tuesday. And then it's oh yeah, we can actually record. The planets have aligned. But yeah, so excited to be back.
Honestly, mate, I'm buzzing just to be back set up. A little bit of changes to the office space, but very excited to be recording. And like I said, it's life has been hectic for all three of us, and we're coming off a few weeks away, but we've had card shows, not as recently as we'd like, but we've had them quite recently where we all got to see each other actually touch tips and enjoy ourselves. But no, honestly, it's so exciting that we've made it to 20. It does feel like a mind-blowing moment. This isn't... speaking to the wife about it, we were like, this isn't a job for us. We're not aiming yet to be billionaires off this, but just this is one of my most fun hobbies, that us three just get to sit and chat absolute TCG drivel for everyone, and they enjoy it somehow. Clearly, look behind Mush's shoulder. They clearly enjoy it, so it's working. But yeah, hitting 20 is incredible.
I mean, we are an award-winning podcast. Just saying.
And we are publicly endorsed by Snorlax, so there's that as well.
And also, we are affiliated, yes, I am the king of promotion, with Imperium Grading. You may use code Pokepals for 5% off of your next submission with them. They are open 3 weeks at time of recording. By the time this goes online, it might be 2 weeks. Who knows? As the boys have stated, we did 3 episodes. We had a card show, we did an episode, we had a card show, and then a card show, and then life. Because we're all people that have things to do that unfortunately don't revolve around shiny cardboard, which is, yes, a massive, massive disappointment, but things are happening. We will be having a very special rendition of the podcast in 2 weeks from, again, time of recording, because all 3 of us, plus friends, will be in the same place as we all gather together to celebrate my stag do, because I'm getting married at the end of May. Yes, that's right. Don't worry, I haven't handcuffed a woman to a bed railing. She actually wants to be with me. It's real. Don't panic. Nobody worry or phone any authorities, please. Enough of that silliness. We have got plenty to cover. And before we get into all of the regionals, we talk about Chaos Rising, Pokemon's first partner boxes, whether Perfect Order was very good or perfectly average, and lots of other stuff that's going on in the world of TCG. Let's have a recap of Newbury Card Show, because it was a really, really good time, and a massive, massive shout out to the guys from there that had organised it and brought us over. It was very ambitious, I think is how I'll word it to start. I think they wanted to do so much for so many people, and I think that their heads and their hearts were in the right place. I just think that there were some executions that could have been better. But the way that they took that feedback and the way that they've understood that is beautiful. Because there are a number of people that could go, you should do this better. And they just go, no, you should just be more appreciative. Because that's rubbish. They were lovely people. They were very understanding, very helpful, and genuinely just a joy to be around. There are a number of people at card shows that by 4 p.m, Ed, can be very tired of humanity and very grouchy. But burnout is a real thing. But we had a great time. Lovely, lovely things happened. We played some challenges. We did some card shopping. Each of us have sent a card off now to Imperium Grading. Don't forget that when they come back, it is highest grade wins. Will it be me? Will it be Tone? Will it be Ed? Who knows? It's probably going to be Tone because that Quaquaval I picked was bloody impeccable.
I mean, technically, that means you win.
Yeah, I know, but you win because you're the one that gets the 10, you know. Whatever it is. Yes, I just did that. I should shoot myself. I have nothing left to live for.
Pause the video because we're about to get into more of this episode. Pause right here. Go watch the episode. It's a cracking episode. Go see the shenanigans we got down to, and then come back because we're about to talk about it now.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that episode. Why have I turned into Jey Uso? God, please kill me now. No, glasses off. Things have happened. So anyway, we went to Newbury Card Show, hosted by Card ADM at the Newbury Racecourse. The venue, an incredible place. We were blessed with wonderful weather. To be honest, everything on the day was great. I don't think that we as a three had a single complaint. We got to hang out with our boy Lucas and Connor, and we got to go and do what we love doing, which is shopping, interviewing vendors, and generally just being out in the community. Challenges, of course, as we did. We all had a £10 limit. Go and find a card for your homies. Grade it. Highest grade wins. So I think for me it was a great time, and any opportunity to be out kind of in the community and with you boys is that's all a Mush can really ask for. We will be going back. They will be hosting a show at the end of the year, and you will find all three of us there, wandering around and probably trying to find End at a vendor table. He's got this unique ability for a man of 6'5" that can hide. It's when we were the best one is still the EUIC when he was just completely gone. It was like Ed, and he just rose like the phoenix. It was like, yeah, what? Honestly, it's an incredible ability for a man of such stature to be able to blend in amongst all of these shorties out there. Boys, before we do get into the meat of the show, how did you enjoy Newbury?
Oh, I loved it. I think having a whole sort of floor or like half a floor dedicated to a community space where we were able to sit and actually play some TCG, rip some packs, and just sort of like hang out, which I think a lot of people sort of overlook at card shows. Is like, obviously you want to go and pick up the shiny cardboard that you're chasing, or like for us lately it's been like deck building bits, but it's also an opportunity for you to be around your friends. And like we say, we're blessed that we do this podcast, but we don't see each other that much. It's maybe once every couple of months, like if everything's sort of fallen our way. So it's so nice to have like that dedicated area. And then there was also a really good mix of TCGs available. So there was like sports. Some people were selling like Union Arena, Weiss Schwartz, Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, like wrestling cards. There was a really, really nice mix. Obviously, Pokemon's always going to make up the lion's share of it, but it was nice to see different things. And I mean, I picked up some Dragon Ball cards, which, I mean, I fucking love because I am a Dragon Ball boy at heart. And touching on what you said earlier, Mush, as well, seeing how they reacted and responded to some of the, I'm going to say issues, it feels like quite a strong word, but like some of the feedback that they had around, say, like the positioning of tables, or how like not many people were fully aware initially that there was additional floors to go and check out. It gives me a huge amount of faith that the next show is going to be even better, and I had a great time at this one, so really excited to see what Card ADM do on the next show, and also just how in the thick of it they were as well, because sometimes like people will run an event and they'll just disappear, but these guys were in the thick of it all day. So many like giveaways for the community, the incredible like promotional cards that they were handing out, and also just the space that they created. I thought it was class, and like you say, at a race course with the sun, everything. It was a beautiful day out.
Yeah, honestly, echoing what you boys have said, it was such a fun day. and we went in no expectations. We just went in saying we're going to do what we always do. We're going to have a laugh. We're excited to just see each other as well. So that's always a massive bonus for us. And it was much better than some people made it out to be. And yeah, I get it. We're not vendors, and we're not specifically there as purchasers, consumers, whatever. We are there to also do a job, but there to have fun. But it was so much fun, and every vendor we spoke to was a right laugh, and everyone was enjoying it. It had some really unique things, like having a tattoo artist there doing tattoos on the day is such an incredible thing. I think Ed and I stopped at the stall next to that for about 5-10 minutes. That was just purely Pokemon artworks and just really incredible things. It had so many different unique little niches there in and around the TCG universe, whether it's Pokemon, whether it's Dragon Ball, whether it's any of those TCGs. Yeah, they could have done a bit better on signage. I think that was personally how I felt. Was just, and it was just, again, speaking to our vendor friends that was up on the top floor, they didn't get as much footfall because not everybody knew. But by the afternoon, people were getting the word out. You had a friend of ours learning to Sam that was going around telling people on the megaphone that you could barely hear over the noise of the crowd anyway, but people were trying and everyone was getting the word out, and it was such a really fun day. And I've got to give credit to the organisers because, like you said, you both said it, they smashed it. They could have heard all this feedback and say, well, actually, why didn't you pay attention to this or that? And the signage that was up, yeah, they've already said they're going to improve, they're going to do better for next time. They're actually going to be taking one whole floor away, and based off a lot of our feedback and other people they've heard, instead of just having because the community space was amazing, but it wasn't that big, they're going to make a whole floor community space so that more people can get involved in playing the TCG, relaxing. They're going to be putting the food inside so that it's not as cold as it was, because where it was shaded, it was a bit chilly outside. But the food options they had, like, us three loved it. We had incredible food. And I think some people can moan and be upset, and I understand a lot of people's moans, but big credit to the show they put on for their first ever show. And yes, I say that knowing I'm the biggest moaner out of all three of us, but credit to the organisers. They put on such a great show for their first show, and have taken on the feedback, and they're planning to be bigger and better, and that's all you can do. And it's such a fun day. Such a good day. And we've got to spend time with some of our friends in the hobby as well. Sorry, Ed. But yeah, we got to see JD, we got to see Dan, like you said, Lucas and Connor. So all five of us, I think that was the first show, all five of us together. Such an incredible day. I loved it.
Yeah, my only complaint for the day was I walked into a bench.
Oh. What's even worse is that was supposed to be the funny part of that clip that I edited in, but really the funniest bit was Tone's fucking "I'm gonna shit myself" face as he sprinted up the stairs away. Oh, it was good. I also think as well that we've highlighted so much from Newbury Card Show, but neither of you have said it. Best dressed suit I've ever fucking seen at a poker. If you haven't already, look. I know Tone did it earlier, but stop. Go to the interview with about 20-30 minutes left of the video, and go and see our interview with the organisers, and go and see the suit he has on, because my God is it. And I'm going to drop my first one. Phenomenal. Absolutely brilliant. And yeah, if you haven't, get there, because the first show was good, which means the second show can only be great. Now, we've recapped what we've been up to, and now we need to start recapping what has happened in the world of Pokemon. Now, as we've made it quite clear recently, and in the last few episodes, we've all become actual players. We start getting cards and shuffling and drawing for turn and all that bejazzled jazz. Now, we, as a three, I think Ed, more than the me and Tone, are becoming quite obsessed with it, and mine and Tone's obsession is growing and growing and growing to the point where Tone has more playable decks than I have wearable underwear. But we've started watching and keeping up with all the things that are happening in the world of playable TCG. So for the last 3 weeks, I believe we've had 2 regionals. We've had one in Seville or Sevilla. I can never remember if it's got an A or an E at the end. And then we've had one yesterday in Orlando. To recap, Seville regionals was won by Gardevoir EX. It has had one last hurrah before.
Boo.
Yeah, boo, we know.
Boo.
I bet the player's got a life-size plush. It's had one last hurrah before rotation. I think a number of people, especially in Seville and in Orlando, they get this like weird amalgamation time where they're playing stuff that's been in the previous rotation, but they just get to add in Pokepads. That's it. They've had Ascended Heroes. They went Ascended Heroes is legal now, and everyone's just whapped in full Pokepads because they are the next best thing from, like, you know, heroin and potatoes. So that's where we're at. Seville has been won by Gardevoir, which I think a lot of people were. I don't know if I'd even say at this point surprised. I think expectant. I think the big surprise is Absol Box taking down EUIC, and then Orlando Regionals was won by En's Zoroark EX, which I think is a deck that has gone from strength to strength, and I think the sets that have come out since its inception in Journey together have only given it more legibility, more quantity and quality to the deck, the draw engines and the style. The addition of Pokepads and N Zekrom is basically a cheat code for that deck at this point. I do wonder if this Grimmsnarl and Absol Box are a sign of things to come. Now, a very simple yes or no question for you boys. Those 3 dark decks, are they the new bigwigs of rotation? Are they taking over, or are we still going to bow down to the supremacy of Dragapult come the 10th of April?
I'm going to say no, and I think Dragapult will be usurped. I think it's going to continuously be like probably the best deck in format, or at the very least top 2. But the more I'm looking into it, with how strong these Dark Box decks are getting, or just Dark type in general, like one tail Mask Ogopon and it's lights out. Like, and I've got an Arboliver EX deck that should be shit, but it's fantastic. I've got a Hydrapple EX deck that, in a similar vein, should be terrible. It might even be better than Arboliver. And it's like, that's probably 3 of the top 6, top 8 decks just counted immediately. You throw Zygarde in the mix because it's got a grass type weakness. That's another one that's going to get counted. So it's like, all of a sudden, yes, dark boxes are getting stronger, but then grass is just countering so much. And then we've all been playing Alakazam lately. I hate how much I enjoy it, and I can see that one just popping off massively. And I mean, Mush and I have both built it. I think Tone's probably going to build it.
I'm building it.
Yeah, so it's like, I feel like this one has probably got the most opportunity in terms of rotation to actually bring new decks out, or like, I can't wait to see more rogue decks though. Like, I love Slowking. I can't wait to see what genius things people come out with, but it's going to be 3 months, 6 months until we start getting like very good rogue decks. But yeah, I think Dragapult is still going to be a mainstay for another year, unfortunately. But I think we are going to get more tools to counter it.
I think I will echo that, and it will be a good mainstay. Fortunately, I currently run it, and it's done me well, as I'll talk about later. I can't see dark boxes taking over that much. Yes, they've done well recently, but I feel like the way the TCG is going, there's enough that counters it so well. Like, there are multiple different grass type focused decks currently going. There are single prizes such as Butterfree and Vivillon out there. You've then got the Terror Box with Teal Mask, Arboliva, Venusaur, and even something like Team Rocket's Mewtwo, which runs Spidops as its main attacker. Like, all of these are strong against the Dark type decks. And I think there's so much that can counter it, and there's a lot of focus on grass types lately, especially with the Forest of Vitality coming out, and I think they're gonna have a much harder time getting up and running and as strong as they can be when they're faced up against a grass deck. It might do good against stuff like Dragapult and other decks that are currently out there, but it's not going to be as strong as some of the decks that are currently being created. So I can't see it being like everyone running and jumping to Enzorark and Absol. And I've played against Absol a couple of times, and it's never beaten me. And that's with multiple decks. So, I don't know. It's an interesting one, but I can't see it going crazily out.
I think and this is from the very small pocket of experience I've had since December 2025, which is kind of when we truly, I think me and Tone truly started playing, Tone even later so, is that with things like TM Evo, TM Turbo Energize, TM Devolution, and some of these Ionos, Arvans, all of that kind of rotating out, everybody that's playing these bigger decks, these mega decks running these Pokemon that are 2-3 energy attackers, that are 2-3 energy retreaters, they're really going to have to start looking at ways around it. Yes, you've got Crispin. Yes, you've got energy switches. I mean, just running a Teal Mask and Grass Energies just to teely dance all over the place and go and get those for free, it does kind of suggest that I think that through the last couple of sets, Pokemon went dark Pokemon, buffed them, and then they got to Ascended Heroes in perfect order and went, those dark Pokemon that we kept buffing, do you ever think that they should probably have some kind of bloody weakness? Because again, like you say, the Decidueye deck running Vivillon, even if Vivillon dies, Judge, you're down to 4, 1 energy, bam, 240. 240 double because of weakness, it's 480. If you're surviving 480, you need help because you've got too much HP. One thing that I want to highlight that came out of Orlando that both me and Ed talked about this morning, game loss given for celebrating early. It's a weird one because Makani running Gardevoir basically got out everything that he needed, and then threw his headphones on the table and started, woo, not doing that. That looks really weird. Don't ever do that at a tournament. That looks very strange. Tone, don't ever do that again. Cancelled. Good night, everyone. Thanks for joining. And it was basically given a game loss because he didn't go through every single action. He just told his opponent, I think he was playing against Keris Jones at the time, just basically told her what he was going to do and threw his headphones down and started celebrating. It's a bit of a weird one. I have to say, I think there is a level to how much of a dick you can be when you're winning. Like if you've got to that stage where like you've completely shut them down and you've won game, like whole game, like all 3 rounds over the course of, it's a case of thank you very much, smash in, then go off and celebrate. I think kind of ranting and raving and jumping and jiving around in front of your opponent like a dick, it's not very, it's not sportsmanlike as they say, but like it's just not on. Don't do it. Because like we could do it when we're sat across the table from each other because like, oh, Ed wants to play Our Believer, I raise you bugs and bombs. Haha, I win! Yay! And then the next day Ed could be like, I'm going to play Alakazam, and see that Lucario of yours? Yeah, it's dead. It's dead now. There's nothing you can do about it. I've got 46 cards in hand. It's dead. It's died. Get out. We can give each other shit. We're friends. But, in a professional tournament, in a professional setting, with thousands of dollars and a possible World Championship invite, booster boxes, money, reputation, renown, the ability to get more eyes and focus on you as a player, just don't be a twat. I think it's a very simple way that I'm trying to say it. There is a time and a place for it, and in a regionals on stream, like even on stream as well. Like if you're in the back and the big tables in like the main play area, do it there. Nobody's gonna fucking judge you there because they can't see you. But when you're doing it on stream and I'm sat in my living room watching it on YouTube, I immediately think that like Makani, don't do that. Because now you come across like a bit of a bellend. It's a weird one. I don't know how it feels. All I'll ask you boys is it unfair Makani to be given a game loss for the behaviour, or do you think it's justified? What do you think?
I'll admit, initially I thought it was quite harsh, because when you set the scene of you're on the main stage, like you've won the game, gives you like I think guaranteed, was it like top 8 and like £1,000 prize money or $1,000 like guaranteed. So that's like your minimum takeaway. Like I'd be buzzing at getting £1,000 for playing Pokemon. Like who wouldn't? But then, in the same vein, having rewatched the clip, it's like I don't even mind the celebrating so much. I think it's the fact that you sort of like throwing the headphones on the table, disrespecting the board. It sent damage counters flying everywhere, cards shuffled about the place. I feel like they explained what their steps were going to be to win, but then because it wasn't actually carried out, there was no opportunity for them to be like, oh no, that wouldn't work. Because I'll admit, at regionals when I played, I had a game where I had the win, and then I was like, oh yeah, I think I've got game because I'll do this, retreat this into this, and I'll punch for whatever it was, but I was 10 damage short because of resistance. Had I have just been like, oh yeah, I've got game because of this, and scooped everything up, I would have lost. And it's like these sorts of things as well. And then I think to your point, Mush, as well, it's almost like setting that example because you have been chosen to be featured by the Pokemon Company on stream, which you're going to be the standard bearer for those that are looking to come into the hobby, into playing competitively, because you never know who's watching. That could be the next world champion, you know? So it's like, if you're setting the scene of like, yeah, you can bring in like this like football showboating, like celebrating and that, like be proud of your achievement, but don't be a dick about it. And unfortunately, upon like the second watch, I was like, yeah, that did cross the line of this person has like had a big moment, they should be allowed to celebrate, to it's actually gone a bit far because it's interrupting, well, it's potentially damaging like the other person's cards as well, which doesn't help anybody. And as well, just throwing stuff about, it's never a good look. It's not what you think it is.
No, I echo what Ed just said. I think I've recently spoke about it as well as limited time playing, but have already played against some arrogant people at one of my newer leagues and when we was at UIC. And it doesn't do well for this hobby. Like, I'm very blessed on my Tuesday night league that everyone is so humble, everyone's so friendly, and I've seen the arrogant type, and it's not fun. It's not fun to play against, it's not fun to be around. And like you both said, like to do it on the main stage where people are watching, not just in the room, but globally, and you're acting like that, and you think that's good, you think that's proud. Like, imagine that if I didn't learn through you guys and I learnt by myself and I decided, you know, I'm going to watch regional and try and get involved, and I saw that behaviour, would I be as invested now as I am if I was learning back then and I watched today's show and saw that? Probably not. It's things like that put me off. So when you've got the younger audience and the younger collectors trying to get involved and learn the game, that could be very off-putting, that behaviour. So to see a punishment of that level, yeah, they were just about to get into the top 8 and a big prize money, and they see it reprimanded instead of awarded. I think it's a really good, clear message that this game is not a place for this behaviour. Fuck off with that shit. Like, I think it's really good that it was a harsh punishment. Because hopefully that will show that this behaviour won't be tolerated. Be respectful of your opponent. Yeah, you might have the win, but show it in a nice way, and then shake their hand or fist bump them and say, yeah, good game, thanks for playing me, done. Then go off and celebrate where you've not got cameras on you and thousands of people watching, where you look like an absolute dick.
Yeah, I think we're all kind of in agreement that there's a time and a place for it. Like, absolutely, in your local league, when you're surrounded by people that you see every week, or even if you're just like I often host Connor, Lucas, Alex, Dan, friends of ours, friends of the channel, and friends of us personally, because they all live relatively close to me. We often have a night where we'll all come and play at my table. Like, by all means, have Dan come round and absolutely fucking decimate me with his Festival League deck, and then just sit there cool as a cucumber while I, F and Jeff all over the place and cry like a 4-year-old girl who's dropped her sweets. That's fine, because I'm in a safe setting and I'm allowed to be a bellend in my own house, wife permitting, obviously. But I think we're all in agreement that there's a time and a place. I think we're all quite lucky. Like my local league, shout out to Entoyment, where I do that. Entoyment Wargaming and Hobbycraft is where I play Pokemon on a Wednesday night, and everyone I've met there is really nice. There are a few people that you can definitely tell have an air of arrogance about them, but when you play them and you actually talk to them, you realise that the arrogance is not I'm better than you. The arrogance is I want to be better than myself than I was last time. And it's almost like a self-inward facing arrogance, because they can be quite blunt during the game, but afterwards they're the nicest people ever. And I'm like, okay, you're just hyper-focusing in and making sure you're not making silly mistakes like recon directive and then lilies. No, do it the other way around, because then you might lilies into what you need and then you get recon directive for something for free. That's something I've learned this week, just myself. Unfair stamp, then recon. Just these a couple of things that make a big difference. Like I'm now talking about my own deck, but I run Cypher Maniac in my Mega Lucario, and remembering to do little things like fighting Gong for an energy before you Cypher Maniac, because if you Cypher Maniac and then fighting Gong for an energy, everything you've just put at the top just gets shuffled back in. And at that point, you might as well scoop, because you've probably set yourself up for game there. And if you don't get what you needed, you're shagged. And that is absolutely poopy. One I'll put on to you boys before we move on, because we are talking about TCG and regionals. Top 4 decks post-rotation. Personally, what do you think will be the top 4? I personally am going to say it's got to be Grimmsnarl Frostlass, Starmie Frostlass, Pult Noir, or Pult Owl, or Pult variant. A Pult variant. And then I'm going to say Mega Lucario because I love him. But that's what I think. I know deep down that Lucario will hit top 8, but he won't get top 4. But I'm putting him in there. So yeah, Starmie Frostlass, Grimmsnarl Frostlass, Pult, Lucario. Ed?
I'm going to say a variant of Dragapult. I think, yeah, I agree on Grimmsnarl Frostlass. Yeah, I don't know, Starmie I'm a little on the fence with, because it's like, it's good, but it needs to be like up and running on your second turn.
Yeah, it needs to be great.
There's no point. Yeah, you definitely need that, like everything all at once. So I'm actually going to put Alakazam in there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then I don't know. I think another single prize like Festival.
I kind of wanted to avoid putting Festival Lead in, just because I didn't want to turn Was on. We're not even an hour into the podcast, and he doesn't need a rock on now.
Watching us has already turned him on. Don't worry.
Well, Connor's started playing it now as well, so I'm sure he's having a little tug at his diplins right now. Sorry, I'll stop.
It's such an irritatingly good deck, though, and I feel the same about Honchkrow and Porygon.
Yep.
Because it's like, as single prize decks go, I don't think that one particularly has a weakness, just in the sense of you power up the one by having supporters in your hand that you discard, which then powers up your other attacker. So it's like, unless you do something that I did on my league, and I will discuss later, it's quite hard, because it's like there's so many attacking options, and then because it's Team Rocket, all their supporters are just fucking ace specs. So it's like, oh, you want a Prime Catcher, an Unfair Stamp, another version of Lilies that can get you even more cards no matter where you are in the game. It's like, it has everything, and it's a single prizer. So it's like, you can't really do that prize trade, because you will come up short, even if they have awful pricing and end up getting like a Honchkrow or a Porygon Z in their prizes, it's all right. They've got many other attacking options. So I think in the immediate, those are probably my top 4. And then whenever the official sort of rotation and legalization of Chaos Rising comes out, it will be Greninja, well, Mega Greninja, Frostlass, or Mega Greninja, Mega Starmie, I think.
Whew, okay. I'm going to start with the deck I'm currently running, Dragapult variant. I currently run it with the Dusks, and I think that will be the one. It seems to be the best current variant, and it's done me really well. So I'll say Dragapult Dusk variant. Next, a variant of Frostlass. I think I've been seeing it in person and seeing it do so well. It will be up there, and I think a lot of people will be running it. I'm currently building one. Of course I am. But I think the Frosties will do really well. As for the final 2, I've got a few in mind. I haven't played Alakazam myself yet. I think it will do well, but instead of Alakazam, I'm going to put a Rogue Shout in there. Team Rocket's Mewtwo Spidops deck. It's been doing quite well in some Asian tournaments, and I think post-rotation it gets stronger. It's got the Grass variant to combat Dark. It's got powerful attacks. I think it does well, and I've been chopping and changing online recently and playing it, and it does really well. I've only recorded 1 loss this week using that deck, and I've changed that up a bit. So I'm putting that up there. I think post-rotation I'm going to live by it. It's going to do well. And in my last slot of top 4 decks, I'm actually going to say again, a deck that I've ran this week and I've done really, really well with are the Swords. Onedge, Doublade, Aegislash. If you get it up and running and you run it well, it does so good that it cannot be overlooked. Like, I got judged and had my whole 28 card hand decimated, and the 4 cards I got off judge. It's all about how you set your board up as well. If I already have 2 Dunsparce sat there, my judge gave me 2 Dunsparce, a Ignition Energy, and I think a Doublade or something. So I was ready to, very next turn, just with a judge, start hunting other cards, and next thing you know, I'm able to attack for 300. So it's a really powerful deck very quickly if you get set up the right way. It's just a lot of deck management and board management. If you do that well, deck's really well. Unfortunately, I can't put Lucario up there. I wish I could. I have the deck built. I love the deck, but it bricks far too much for my liking for me to put it in the top 4, because I have been on the receiving end of some absolute shafting, both in person and online. I love the deck, but I can build houses with the bricks I get from it.
Yeah, I have built a to-scale replica of Buckingham Palace out of the amount of times I have bricked with Mega Lucario. I think it's one of those decks as well that, like, I mean, you could have that with any deck where you get everything you could ever want, or you get absolutely fuck all, and there's nothing in the middle. There's no like, oh, well, you could have a Pokemon and a fighting gong, so you could at least like go and find a friend, so that if you die, you survive. It is basically all or nothing. You get everything or nothing, and there's no middle.
I don't know if I'm just being mean against Lucario here, because I love the deck and I love the Pokemon, but with Dragapult, for instance, I have bricked hard for 3 to 4 turns, and only got something decent on turn 5, and still managed to turn it round and get the win. I feel like with Lucario, you go 3 or 4 rounds of bricking, you might as well scoop. There's no quick way to turn it round. And there should be. I've just not felt that experience yet. If I brick, that is it. I'm out. I'm done.
That's why you boys need to be putting your Dunsparces.
I've tried it, Ed, and it's just not good enough. I think that it works really well in other decks, but I just think I get to a point where I just like there's only so many times I can run away draw for an Ultra Ball, an Ultra Ball, and an Ultra Ball before I actively lose my mind, because then the only things I've got to discard are Ultra Balls and Dunsparce, which I kind of need both of. One tech, if you are a Lucario player, I'll offer this to you. Salvatore. Because turn 2 Mega Lucario with Mega Brave is pure, unadulterated spice. But enough, we will talk more as we get into tabletop talks. But first, we must talk about the agony, anguish, and dismay of yet another Pokemon product that has been scalped to high heaven. I can't, there are only so many podcast episodes where we talk about this. I'm going to give it less than 3 minutes. Pokemon's first partner boxes. Everyone is very excited because you can pick up generations 1, 4, and 7.
And 7.
Okay. Ed, very kindly, is displaying it for us over here on your screen, wherever that is. Look at Ed. Lovely. Everyone looked at Ed. Thank you. It's a cool product. It's a cool idea. Everybody likes starter Pokemon. You know, I'm still waiting for a Mega Arbok and another IR, but, you know, whatever. I've got time. Just there's a problem about it just being scalped to high heaven, it ending up on eBay on a picture of somebody's fucking passenger seat outside of a Smith's somewhere just outside of fucking Slough for fucking 3 times the price of what it should be in the store, and then every store has fuck all allocation, yet every fucking Tom, Dick and Harry has got it on fucking Vinted, eBay and whatnot. It does me, because what we're going to get is we'll get, 2, 5 and 9, or 2, 5 and 8 next, and then we'll do 3, 6 and whatever afterwards, right? We'll get all of them eventually. So you'll have the lovely binder page spread like Ed's got of all the generations. It's great. I only want like 3 of them, and really, half of them are like the final evolution and not the fucking first one. So, you know, thanks. There is only so much we can do in this hobby. And I think Ed said it before, and Ed says it in that, like, calming, one tone, not trying to be too horrible. But if you don't fucking buy it, they can't fucking sell it. It's very simple maths. If I go to a corner shop to buy a can of delicious, fruitful white monster for £1.99, and then I go to One Stop, and they're selling it for £2.50, I'm not going to fucking buy it. I'm going to fuck off back to the other shop and buy it for £1.99. Because that's retail, and I'm happy with that. That is the price that has been allocated, and I will take it away. Please, I know this is a plea to like the fucking 8 people that are going to watch this far into the podcast, but for you 8 people, right, clip this and send it to all of your friends. If you don't pay scalper prices, scalpers can't sell it to you at that price. It's simple maths. I don't even have a maths GCSE and I can fucking do this math. Come on. Ed, say something insightful.
I chose to... I was very lucky, and it's the benefit of actually playing the game, which, you know, this Pokemon card hobby is about, is that you actually have more chance of getting stock because stores reward their players because they know that people are playing and, you know, they're playing Pokemon. But I managed to get a box from each of the 2 stores that I play at, all at retail, as it should be. And I was very lucky to pull 2 separate generations. I pulled Gen 4 first and then Gen 1. Obviously Gen 1 the most expensive and nostalgic one. But people are selling that set online for about £70 for the 3 of them, which is absurd when you think that retail on that product is £15. £4 is a Mega Evolution pack. £4 is a Phantasmal pack. That means at best that promo pack is £7 if we're looking at numbers. I chose to buy Gen 7, thankfully the cheapest one, but that was £25. And my justification for buying that at a recent card show I went to was it's £15 at the chance of getting that gen, or I pay an extra £10 for the guarantee. That is fine. That's acceptable because it's the same as like if you opened a £4 booster pack, you're not going to sell the contents for £6 because, you know, it's like you may pull something that is rarer. But because these are all on like an even playing field, it's a cheap product, Like, you shouldn't be able to charge what people are charging for it. And like Mush said, the amount of fucking listings I see where they're not even out the shop. Like, all Smiths have the same floor. I can see the Smith's Toys floor. I can see your fucking bus stop. I can see the passenger seat of your car. Like, if you're gonna do it, at
You can
least
see
get
your
it
gimp
home.
suits in the background.
Yeah, and then you also just see these people that try and justify it. It's like, oh, I'm selling off some of my personal collection. It's like, yes, that is in your collection, but it's because you've only just fucking bought it, you silly cunt. Like, it's ridiculous. Don't feed into it. If you absolutely have to, I would much rather, and I think all of us would, you buy the cards you need, not the sealed product, because the secondary market for singles is what it is because of scarcity, because of availability, because of pull rates. Sealed shouldn't be like that on release. If we were talking 12 months down the line, even when all of the series and volumes have come out and we've got the full set of 9 starters and everyone's got beautiful binder pages, then if it starts creeping up, I'd still be a bit iffy with it because it should be printed for at least a couple years. But at least you'd start to get it. But when it's on release day or like the week after, it's like it shouldn't be like this, and it only happens because people buy off them. If you buy off scalpers, you are part of the problem. And if you think, oh, Ed's talking about me here, reevaluate your shopping habits. Put some effort in and go and get the product yourself if you can. And if you can't, practice restraint. I don't get every product I ever want. Mush doesn't. Tone doesn't. This hobby isn't about being able to get everything that you want all of the time. Because if it was, you wouldn't celebrate the things that you do have because everyone would have them. Like, FOMO is real. It's okay to not have everything. There's the opportunity to get stuff in the future. Please just practice a bit of patience. This will get reprinted. It's the 30th anniversary of Pokemon. It's not a flash in the pan. This is a big deal.
I also think,
That's
before Tone inevitably moves his headphones off and there is, violent steam coming out of his head, I do wonder, and maybe we as a three, we're doing it wrong because I keep my personal collection just here on my desk because it's not worth a lot. It's worth lots to me, but not worth a lot monetary-wise. But clearly we're doing it wrong because everyone seems to keep their personal collection on the passenger seat of a Ford Mondeo. So maybe if we put ours there, it will fucking triple in value. It's, as you say, if you don't pay the prices, you don't have to deal with it. It is a case of FOMO. You all are terrified that you won't get the next best thing, but realistically, like Ed said, reevaluate where you're at because I live in the arse end of the arse end of the arse end of nowhere. Like, my nearest game store is an hour away, and even they are technically a wargaming and tabletop store. They just do Pokemon as well. And then the next nearest one is another 40 minutes on from that, or another hour and a half on from that. I have very little opportunity to get stuff, and I'm very grateful that both these two and other friends that we have in the community have helped me out. But I'm not going to sit here and piss blood and scream smoke because I can't get hold of something. If I want to get a card or I need a card for a deck, I trade, I buy one single at a reasonable price and I will do my bloody research, or I just build Alakazam and smash everybody and give up on the idea of having anything else. But yes, just to echo that before Tone does eventually blow several blood vessels in his forehead, just don't be a twat. Maybe we'll get merch made that just says, don't be a twat. Buy singles.
Don't be a twat. Only because the C word's too extreme. Yeah, let me try and say this without getting shouted at Mush during a segment break for breaking his headphones. As everyone knows, I love my starters. I love my starter Pokemon. And it made me so happy that this box came out. And I went to queue up for it on the release day, and the majority of people that was there wasn't actually even there for first partners. They were there for the Lucario and Gardevoir boxes. And because they were offering a box to everyone in the queue, everyone inevitably got a box. I got the Gen 4 starters. I'm clearly, obviously, as a Squirtle boy, chasing Gen 1. And the Smiths that I went to were doing 1 box per person. I have not seen another box anywhere where I live since. And a lot of what I'm addressing is in direct relation to a lot of comments, basically arseholes that are saying, just get out and get product. Just go find it then. I've been very unlucky as someone works a job 10 to 6, which means I'm travelling between 8 to 8:30, and after I leave at 6, sometimes leaving at 7, I'm not getting home until early as 7:30, if not 8 o'clock. And if I leave the office at 6:30 and Smith's closes at 8, I get there 7:45. They're sold out of product by 9 a.m. anyway, and they open at 9. I don't have the opportunity on Monday to Friday to go to a shop because I have a real-time job and I can't get product because all the people that are on benefits and don't have a real-time job are going to buy these boxes and go into multiple stores to get it, to then, from £15, sell it for 45, 50 quid on Vinted instantly on that day. Queuing behind me, queuing in front of me, bragging about the money that they are going to make on this box. And all the other comments that I'm going to address now are the absolute, I'm sorry for the word, the cunts that are in the comments saying, if you can't afford it, this isn't the hobby for you. I'm sorry, that's market price. What do you expect? You just sound poor. You just sound broke. You sound cheap. No, I'm not. I got a brain. I shouldn't be spending 40, 45, 50 quid on a box that's £15 that wasn't released a month ago. It's an absolute fucking joke. It's sickening. And yes, I have to echo what Ed said. It's the buyers that are making this so much worse. Because yes, I get it buying singles. I'll be open and honest. I bought the Squirtle as a single. And I had to spend £22 for it. And I'm not happy I did it. But I'm doing a Squirtle Master set. And I'll be honest, and I discussed it with the boys beforehand. It's like the Pikachu with the felt hat. I had the opportunity to buy that for £55. And I said no at the time. And it was a couple of weeks after it was released. Yes, Ed, show it off. But it was a couple of weeks after it was released, and I said to myself, £55 for that card, I'm sorry, Ed, you're going to disagree, £55 for that card is ridiculous. Far too expensive. And now look at where it's at. But that's been over a couple of years that it's got up and up and up. Yeah? I got Squirtle at £22, but that was the cheapest, and I haggled the guy on Vinted. The next price up from that was 26, 28, £32 just for Squirtle. It's fucking sickening. £70 and up for the Gen 1 starters. If you are going and buying these boxes and then selling them for triple the price, you're not an entrepreneur. You're not business smart. You're a cunt. You're a dick. You're an absolute arsehole, especially if you're doing it at the front seat of your Ford Mondeo, your Fiat 500, and your benefit scrounging car. It's a piss take. Go get a real job. Because fuck me. I can't hear all these comments. I can't sit there and reading all these, just go out and buy it. I can't. And my Play Store was very unlucky to not have a bigger allocation as they wanted to. But they were very forthcoming in, we're getting it, and this is the time we're getting it. And I was half debating sneaking out of my workplace, jumping on a Lime bike, riding there on my bike and back, where if I got caught, I would have got in severe trouble, just so that I could get my hands on a box for retail so that I can open it. But I will refuse, as much as I want a sexy binder page like Ed has, I will refuse to ever have that page if it means spending £45 and up on a box. And if you are out there, because I've seen people that, I spend £40, £45, £50. You're part of the problem if you are spending that much on this box. Don't do it. If you do not buy, they cannot sell. And they are then stuck with the stock. And guess what they have to do? They have to reduce their prices. Like Ed said, this isn't no Chilling Reign. This isn't no Fusion Strike. This isn't a set that's not getting reprinted ever again. It's a very fresh set. They're going to reprint and get more out in the next coming weeks. try to get stock out, and I will try again, and I'm still trying, and I'm still begging. If you haven't seen on my Instagram stories, I'm putting a story up every day saying daily story, basically saying, if you see this box at retail, let me know, because I will refuse to spend any more than 15, because it's a $14.99 fucking box. I might spend 20, and that extra fiver is going to go to the person who's helping me get that box and delivery, and maybe a little bit extra on the side for them, because they're doing something nice and helping me. But I'm not going to just give them an extra 30 quid. It is a fucking piss take that people are using and abusing this hobby to do this, to make a bit of money, and everyone's just going, nah, that's acceptable, I guess. Well, I guess so, this market. What can we do? Not buy is what you do. And if, like Ed said, I'm going to echo this, if you're listening to me and you're thinking, that's me, or you're like, it's not really that deep, fuck off. We are not aligned. We do not agree, and I can't be hearing your opinions. Like, unfollow me. I'm so mad at this situation. It was part of my moan zone, and Mush said, "Take it out. We've got it covered already in the main podcast." Because we all agree it is a piss take. People are taking the piss whether you're selling it or you're buying at that price. It is a joke. And if you are going out there and buying tons and tons of boxes to resell, you are part of the problem of this hobby. I don't know what to say. And if you think that makes you a big man, or you're proud of that, or you're a fucking sneaker bro that's just come into our hobby to make a quick buck, honestly, like, I really sincerely hope your collection burns one night and you lose all the money, all your sealed stock. I hope it all gets tears in. I hope none of it sells. I hope you make no money. I hope your benefits fucking crumble when you can't get money. Honestly, I wish the worst on you, because you're ruining this lovely hobby for me and my friends, and it's a piss take.
I hope you stub your toe, because that'll fucking suck.
I also just want to quickly say, if you're queuing for 3 hours to make £30 on a £15 box, it's less than minimum wage, that. Well in, Alan Sugar, big man.
Okay! Nobody else is allowed to make any more comments about these people that are definitely making good money and are reasonable people in our community. You can't. Right. Definitely going to have to get parental advisory stickers now for the podcast, really, aren't we? Because it's just, there's been more C-bombs here than there has been anywhere else.
I apologise to anyone who's watching with their kids. I do apologise, but this situation makes me mad.
We're passionate, is how I would describe it. And if you don't like passion and people that care about your community, then this is not the podcast for you. We are passionate and caring people within the community. Also, I've been looking at the deck list for Ninja Spinner, and I'm starting to get worried about all the things people are going to come at me with. Right, before we do talk about Ninja Spinner, I have one question. Perfect order or perfectly average? Where do you think this set stands? Because I've seen a lot of division about it. Me personally, as a player, I've really enjoyed it. As a collector, yeah, it's fine. It's got some really nice commons and some really nice hollows. Yeah, it's fine. I'm not blowing it out of the water. I don't think it's terrible. It's fine. I didn't get the Mega Zygarde SIR, which I quite like. I did get Starmie. Hey, can't win them all. So I'll give you a minute each.
I'll let you start, Ed.
Yeah, Tone, I think you've run out of minutes. You're on negative 14 minutes from the last segment.
Join Tone on episode 21. Yeah, I actually really like the set. I think it's, again, same as Journey Together, because there's not a really high-end expensive chase card, like the fact that the Zygarde Mega Hyper Rare Gold is about 120 quid. The Meowth is around about the same amount. Because of that, everyone's like, nah, it's not a great set. I mean, the artworks in it are class. It's nice seeing other Pokemon get a spotlight. It's got good playability with some of the items, the trainers, and the Pokemon within it. I think it's a set that's got everything, just not that super high-end expensive chase card that people want. But for me, I'm master setting this, and I'm really happy about it. But then again, I also love Steam Siege. I also love Shrouded Fable. I think they're all great sets, and I think people often rate how good a set is by the price tag associated with it, not necessarily the quality of the set itself. So for me, I think it's perfectly fine.
I actually also really enjoy it. I think this is, again, like Ed said, it's not a set that's full of big chase cards. So where Ascended Heroes, all the jobless benefit scroungers were able to resell it and make money and make it a really expensive set, as they did with Phantasmal as well. Perfect Order, they tried, there wasn't as much interest, they failed already. You can already see them crying in communities, and it's very fun to see. But the set itself is actually vastly underrated. I think some of the cards in it are absolutely stunning. It's got deck playable cards, it's got collection gorgeous cards. I think it's perfect for what it is. Again, it's another one similar to Stellar Crown, in my opinion, where, again, like Ed said, with Journey Together, Stellar Crown was one of my favourite ever sets, not just because of the Squirtle, but the biggest chase card in that set was Squirtle and Bulbasaur, which made it very easy to get hold of, and a lot of people had love for it, and it wasn't vastly difficult to get. And this set has been the same. I can walk into a corner shop. I've managed to get product quite easily multiple times, to the point that I feel bad. Not that I feel bad, but I've not ripped any Ninja Spinner yet, and got any Japanese in a while, because it's the first set post Scarlet Violet era I've managed to get my hands on English stock, and I've been diving back into that world because I can. So for me, I've loved it because I've managed to get some stock I can get my hands on, and it's been really fun.
Yeah, I think you're both. You've kind of covered what I was going to say. I've enjoyed it because I've managed to get an ETB and a booster bundle from the PC, from Pokemon Center. Granted, I've done it through a friend who managed to get one, but I was sat in that same queue, and it was just a case of he got through. Why waste any more of my time if he's happy to give one away? Shout out to Rich, thank you very much, buddy. You gave me a shit one though because I didn't get an SIR in it, therefore I want my money back.
Resealed.
And I also, what I find really funny is we'll talk about our pre-release for Perfect Order that we did at our local game stores. I've pulled 4 Doublades and 3 Rowlets. Like, I don't think it could be funnier. So while the boys were giving you their opinions on Perfect Order, which I think is perfectly good, we're going to talk about Ninja Spinner, which obviously will be releasing later in this month, next month, end of this month, next month. No, we're in April, next month. If you want to donate me any Chaos Rising as a wedding present.
Chaos.
PO Box Ed's house, and then he'll send it to me because I'm not giving my address to the internet.
Oh, fuck my
It's all going to Tone's mother-in-law. Right, cool, problem solved. Ninja Spinner, now obviously there's a large portion of this set where it's all the Greninja fanboys. The Mega's terrible. It's just an upside-down frog. But I'm looking at the card list right now. I actually quite like the Mega Greninja SIR. I think it looks quite cool. I'm trying not to kind of be too disheartened about it. One thing I think is a bit of a piss take is that there is a really good playable Beedrill in this deck, and it doesn't have an SIR, but we've got Minchino. Oh, please. Just, yeah, thanks. Mega Dragalge, Mega Floette, they look really cool. Greninja looks great. One that I'm really surprised by and love, as a player that loved black and white, I am loving the Roxy cards. And she's a poison type trainer, which, if you are a fan or follower of the podcast, you'll know that I am a poison type connoisseur. So that one for me is great. I'm going to throw some shout outs. Taurus. That's an illustration rare that I'm very grateful to see. A 1/5/1 Pokemon that does deserve some love, finally getting some. Claydol, another one that I think has really blown it out of the water with how it's been designed. What I need, though, and I need this to be the case, I need a 3 connecting artwork of Solrock, Lunatone, and Claydol. Yes, please. Give me that now. Because you could have Lunatone at night, Solrock in the day, and Claydol in the middle. it could be very cool. I'll leave that with you, Pokemon, because we know you watch the podcast because I've called things that you've created afterwards. Crobat, I'll be hunting that because that'll be going into my Crobat Master Collection. There's a Pyroar that Tone still isn't sure about the design, but I'm sure he'll love the card. As we go into playable things, I'm sure Ed will be chomping at the bit to get hold of the Philippe. A big fan of the big man with the steel tie. Prism Tower, that looks quite cool. Of course, there's a Gold Greninja. Of course there is. But looking at it, there's some great playable stuff coming out. I think a lot of us will be looking forward to Special Red Card and really pissing off our opponents as we all try and do our best Pierluigi Collina impression and offer it out. If you are a football fan, that's one hell of a fucking reference, and I deserve some plaudits in the comments section. But
Maybe that should be your dress up for the stag.
what, I dress as Pierluigi Collina? Goodbye mullet, hello slapped bald head. No, because if I get rid of the beard, then I'll just look like a thumb because there's no... This is all one piece. I'm chest, then chin, and by chin I mean fold. So no, I can't. I could come as a Paul Scholes impersonist, Nicky Butt, John Arnorisa. He's got a hell of a left foot on him. I could be him. And he's Slavic, and I kind of look a bit of it. Yeah. We digress massively. One that I've just looked at, there's 4 Deoxys commons of every form. Yes, please, and twice on Sunday. That's something I'll be chasing just as a 4. There's something about Deoxys that I don't think I've ever quite understood why I'm so drawn to it, but I am so drawn to it. And then there's just a few little things. There's a nice Ninetales. Nice to see the Froakie Chespin, and oh my god, I forget its name. Oh my god, why have I forgotten its name? Fennekin, that's the one.
Fennekin.
Those 3 getting illustration rares. Xerneas, Ampharos, Metang, Sliggoo. Even Watchog's got quite a cool one with the Prism Tower in the background. Although I've still never understood why that Watchog as a Pokemon is designed to have one of those, like, what are the women that help you cross the street?
Yeah.
One of them. It's got a crossing lady jacket on. That's always been a really odd one. Is why is Cobalion in this one? I do find that sometimes they put a Pokemon in a set and they're just like, we need something. Right, get the random number generator up. That's going in. All your Absol players, you'll be really happy to see that there's a full art Jumbo Ice Cream. So your Absols and your Alakazams can now be healed in a pretty way. But other than that, there's not an awful lot I'm looking at on here that I'm like, oh, I'm desperately going for it. All the poison ones that are being here, so the Beedrills, the Dragalges, the Roxy's cards, I'll be hunting them. We've gone back again. I'll see if I can get my phone to show up on the screen. But we've gone back to these kinds of cards. The mega secret rares. Keep them. Please don't get rid of them. Don't replace them with something shit. I hope that we get a return to more MARs. I think the mega attack rares we were really treated to.
Yeah.
But that's it. I think I'm chasing all the poison types out of the set. And then I'll go through it properly when the set comes out in English, and I'll see what is playable. Going based off of the deck lists and card lists that I'm sure you boys are looking at now while I've been waffling on like an old lady. In Acosta, what is it that you're looking forward to? Because I've obviously kind of just reeled off the entire card list, but what do you want from it?
Definitely want the Xerneas, the Claydol, the Taurus, the AZ's Tranquility SIR, unbelievable. Mega Dragalge SIR. I actually do really quite like the Mega Floette as well. But overall, I think this is going to be more of a set that I pick up singles of and like the playable cards than it will be one that I look to master from just the looks. Like, I love Legends ZA. I thought it was a fantastic game. I know it wasn't for everyone. I know people were high on it and then got turned off it. But I do like how much tie-in there is. But at the same time, it doesn't feel like the most cohesive set. This, like, there's so much from the game, and then Cobalion, Deoxys. It's a bit weird. One thing I'm theorising now that I'm looking at the entire set, there's quite a few Pokemon that have like the Prism Tower in the background. I'm wondering if we have some weird kind of connecting artwork. If we do, that's sick, and I'll probably pick up those commons, because you've got Weedle, you've got who else did I see? Phantom. There's Goomy. There's quite a few where there's like the Prism Tower is visible, so it would be cool to see. But I think as someone that's like, yeah, Greninja's cool, but I don't really care, I'll just be looking for the half art EXs to have the Mega Greninja deck. Yeah, I think it's fine. Like, I'm not going to say that this is a bad set. I just don't think it's one that I'm particularly interested in, apart from some of my favourite Pokemon like Metagross. I'll definitely pick that one up, and it's also going to be good in the TCG. It'll just be a bit of a playability one for me, I think, this, and then a few IRs.
Yeah, no, like, I think it's a nice set. I think I'll start by speaking about the Greninja, because I'll echo Mush in that Mega Greninja SIR, as much as I also do not like the Mega. The card itself is stunning, I think, because the angle of Greninja himself, that could be any sort of artwork. It does not specifically, exactly, perfectly show him hanging upside down on a flying star and look incredibly stupid like it does on the game. But the artwork itself, the background art, the colours on it, stunning. Absolute incredible card. And also, again, to echo Mush, the Roxy card. I think it gives me very similar, what set was it from? Maybe Paradox? The Loudred card, where it's like shouting. It's,
yeah.
you know what I'm talking about? It gives me that vibes. I think it's a very, very nice artwork. I also think it's really random, some of the cards. But it's also cool seeing that Mega Floette has a card. I just think that's quite cool. As for cards I'd be chasing myself, again, this isn't a set that I'd really be chasing things. I think it'll be a collect and see what I get. Looking for little bits that might upgrade my deck. I think the Taurus is a must. I think that is such a great card. Xerneas, absolute stunning card. Because of my love for the starters, I'd want to get all the starters. It's annoying that only the Froakie line has their middle starter as an art rare as well. You don't have a Quilladin. You don't have, oh god, whatever Fennekin's evolution is. My mind's just gone blank. But you have a Frogadier.
Braxian.
That's it, Braxian. But yeah, some of them are really nice. I even like the Ampharos. I think that artwork itself is really, really nice. I feel like I would like the Watchog art if it was any other Pokemon apart from Watchog, because it's not a Pokemon I care for. Sorry, Watchog, but it is just a very random one.
Watch Watchog and Patrat be the most playable fucking cards in that set now.
Patrat it stops Monkey Dory.
Oh, I'm going to have like 8 of them in my deck. I'm going to run a 4/4 line of Patrat Watchog.
Before we carry on, Tone, sorry, Watchog, if you're listening to the podcast.
All three of us have just never met the bloke, but we've just shat all over his character.
Watchog, you non-living entity, but you're shit. You are much worse than stuff like Trubbish, so just gotta put it out there. Yeah, no, I think it's got some nice cards in. I think I don't want to, because I like looking at commons. I think some of the common artworks in this though are really cool. Like, again, I know we spoke about the art rare. The Xerneas common is it gives me, I say common, it's going to be a holo. But the Xerneas holo gives me base set vibes of like the holo with a plain shiny background, if you're looking at that at all. But I really like that because it, like I said, it's giving me like base set holo vibes. But some of the other artworks, like even Litleo just chilling in a tree, absolutely love that. Only because I've got a weird like for the Pokemon. I won't say love, but Octillery is an awesome artwork. There's a couple of common cards in this set that I'm like, these are really cool artworks. It'll be a fun set to look into, but it won't be one that I'm like chomping at the bit to.
The more I look at it, and the more we discussed earlier about how dark types are, have taken over the meta of Pokemon. Just want to build a Beedrill deck because it punches ridiculously for the amount of Beedrills you have. So, Beedrill supremacy coming.
There's a Trubbish card in this deck.
Well.
Oh my god, if you build it with Ogerpons and Secret Box, you could call it Swarm Box. Oh my god. Pokemon, hire me,
Jesus.
alright? Come on. And it's like Ed's Arbeliever deck. It's Arbeliever and a thing called Love. Like, I'm just here making up names that are just fantastic. Arbeliever and a thing called Teal Dance. I'm here. Like, how am I not making money off of this?
Gives you the real chance.
Realistically, I think all of us quite like the look of some cards, but I don't think that we're rushing or chomping at the bit. I think there have been sets that have come out, like Destined Rivals, there was so much in it that we were just picking card after card, like I'll chase this and I'll chase this and you could build that. That would be great. And I think even Ascended had the same kind of like, not all of it was fantastic, but there was so much in it. Pokepads. Basically just Pokepads. I'll take all of them. And it's the same that has come out with Perfect Order. I think there's like a few like main chases that we'd like. All of us wanted the Zygarde. Not one of us has got it. Two of us have got Starmie. Going well so far.
All right, lads.
All right. How about you go get your 2 grand gold Charizard? We'll talk about who's got what, shall we? Yeah. Quieten down in the back with
send you a picture tomorrow.
Quieten down with your Bubble Mew in the back. All right. And I think that we've been quite lucky that every set that's come out, let's say from Destined onwards, because that's kind of as we started playing, has given us at least something to chase, whether it's PC personal collection on the passenger seat of our Ford Mondeos, or playable stuff that's going into our decks that we drive to League in our Ford Mondeos. I don't know why Ford Mondeo, but if you own one, you're a dick now. Sorry. You could be the nicest person on the planet ever, but you own a car that is now just completely associated with scalping. Insert Ford Mondeo based meme in the next episode. Thanks, future Mush? Yep, that works.
Ford Mondeo, official enemy of the Pokepals podcast.
It's just going to be the Badoo meme that I made with Badoo as Chancellor Palpatine and hatred of Ford Mondeo. Do it. Yep. I think there's only one way we can truly get around this absolute mindfuckery that I've created, and that is to do the thing that we do best. Slide open those bifold doors and step our way in to the Moan Zone.
Alright, so I've already had half of my Moan Zone already this episode, so I'll keep this as brief as I can. But we've been a few weeks without a Moan, so I've got a little bit of a list. I've taken some stuff out. First thing I want to focus on, and it's again a bit Instagram based, but there's been a lot of comments on people's posts I've seen recently, and it's not been on mine because half the time I will delete your comment, block you, remove you from ever having access to my posts again. But I'm seeing a lot of people with this, forward your post to me, send me this post, and beggy people basically asking to use your posts for their own wall. I've also seen people, a good friend of ours, JD Cards, who have had people that don't even ask and will just take your posts and post it on their wall as if it is their own creation. Stop doing it, you scumbags. Leave me on my posts alone. Leave people on Instagram and their posts alone. Just let them post their stuff. Stop being beggy in people's comments and forward this to me. Send me your post. How about jog on? Cool. Next one's quite big. I will try and keep it as brief as I can because I will get mad. But it seems like at the start of the year, at least, there was a resurgence of seedy, beggy men in the hobby again. Now, quite a few of our female audience and female collectors on Instagram have either messaged me or I've seen on their stories or been in group chats with some of them where they have received extremely inappropriate messages from men either of a sexual nature, a beggy nature, or an extremely rude and manipulative speak down to you behaviour. Like, it is wrong and it is disgusting how some people feel comfortable to speak to and treat some of the women in this hobby. It is disgusting because you wouldn't speak to half of the men like that. I would like to see some of the messages that I've seen sent to women be sent to Ed, because Ed will come, get his bent frying pan, put it in between your arse cheeks and unbend it to split you in half. I would actually pay good money to see it. But leave the women in this hobby alone, you dirty arseholes, and just go away. Go watch porn or something. Leave real nice people alone and take your seedy, weird thoughts out of this children's hobby. Please and thank you. You make me feel sick.
I don't think I'm ever going to get the unbent frying pan image out of my mind, and now my life has been forever fucking tainted and changed. Don't be a prick or unbent fry. Oh, God, yeah. Nah, let's just move on. Next.
And that unbent thing that undoes that. Imagine
reverse bear
Ed.
trap.
Right, yeah. Ed reverse frying pan in the arse cheek, split open, done. Next. There was another message from another female in the hobby that she sent me personally, and was highlighting something that we have all had previous experience with, and we have dealt with absolute arseholes like this before. Luckily for us, we don't really join that many Instagram group chats anymore. We're kind of solidified in the ones we're in, but as newer people join the hobby, they make their own group chats. And I spoke to someone, which has then led to multiple people saying they've been part of Instagram group chats where they are kicked out of the group chat for not being supportive enough, not talking in the group chat enough, basically not living up to the rules of a group chat, blah, 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 blah. This is just a reminder that Instagram is meant to be a fun, safe, welcoming place, especially in the Pokemon community. No one owes you anything. If you join a group chat and there are rules that you are stipulating, maybe stipulate it at the start, because everyone I've checked with, none of that was stipulated at the start. But this is just a reminder that if you're in this hobby and you are showing off your love and your appreciation from it on Instagram, like all three of us are, and which is how we found each other, this is a reminder that, point one, this is not a full-time job. People have full-time jobs. They have lives. People have things going on in their life where they cannot focus on Instagram 24/7. I am now on the app about 20 to 30 minutes a day. And I will sometimes, my overthinking side will panic because I'm like, I know I'm not liking and reacting and appreciating as many posts as I normally used to. And I know in turn that's affecting my numbers. And I know there's probably people out there that are like, Tone doesn't do fuck all anymore. And sometimes it's because the app makes me sick. Sometimes it is I am working 9 hours a day, travelling 3 to 4 hours, and then I'm very blessed to have an amazing wife that I love and want to spend time with when I get home, not just sit there and be on my phone. So I can't always be on there. I'm normally waking up at 7:30 and rushing a post so that I can get ready to go to work and not be back on the app till 7:30 the next morning. It happens. People have lives. Stop kicking people out of group chats just because they're not living to your expectations. And the last reminder, because this is again about the whole being supportive and yada, yada, yada. Okay, I've seen that there's a lot of newer accounts that are getting hundreds, 200, 300 likes, comments, interactions. And from what I've heard, it's because they're in these chats and because they're all being as supportive as they can. And it is amazing to see for them. I love it. And a lot of these people are incredible people. But it's just a reminder that not everyone is in this for the numbers and the clout. And if that is what you're chasing and that's the expectations you're expecting for everyone, you need to reevaluate what everyone else and their expectations are and what they're in it for. Because I know there's also a lot of accounts that get 20 to 30 likes and they are so happy with how they are going on the app because they are just doing their cardboard for their small community and they are loving it. And I know that sometimes all three of us have spoke before where we're like, our post is bombing and it's starting to really piss me off. And then there's days where our mentality is much more positive and we're like, do you know what? The people that are commenting and are liking and are sharing and are regular people that we actually get along with really well, that actually care for us and know us and are probably at this point met us at a card show or in person somewhere. And I'm like, do you know what? I am blessed with the Instagram life that I have. And sometimes it is that mentality, but it's all well and good we have it. All the people that are kicking people out of chats and putting their own rules on people, sort yourselves out, have a think that maybe not everyone is like you, and stop being so restrictive and setting rules and limits on people on this app. It's a joke. Last thing I'll moan about today, because I'll keep it a brief moan, is people instantly flipping stock. And I'm not going to speak about first partners boxes and things like that, but people that will brag about getting X card, they will get this lovely amazing piece of their collection. Oh my god, look at this. And before you know it, there's a follow-up story where they're like, oh my god, I've got this slab for sale, £30. It is not a good look for the hobby when you are getting things that you're showing that you're so happy and appreciative for, and then you're instantly for the flip sale. It doesn't look good, especially if it's you've got it for cheap, or you've got it on a giveaway, or you've got it in a certain way where you're showing that you're proud that you've got something, but it doesn't show the pride and the love and the affection for the hobby that you might think it does, just because you've done one story or one little comment where you're like, oh my god, look at this. Because then you're instantly flipping it. To other people, that's like I don't really give a shit that I've got this. Let me just quickly make a little bit of moolah on the side. I understand that you might want to sell it, and I'm not telling everyone how to manage your collection. Not at all. Collect how you want, but be a bit smarter with how you are putting yourself out there, because the instant flip is not a good look. And I've seen a lot of people called out for it recently, and I have to admit, I agree. And I don't know about either of you lads, but the instant flip when you've bragged about something, it just does not give off a good look.
I actually do want to. I want to interject because I don't particularly, in a way, give a shit here nor there. But I for anyone that does follow us or may know anything about us personally, if you do follow our Instagrams, I lost my job at the start of December last year, and I went from December until basically mid-March unemployed through Christmas, while planning a wedding, while living in a house that I have to pay for, having a dog, having a job, having no job, and having a life is really difficult. I was very grateful that last year I not only started an award-winning podcast with these two, I pulled a number of big grails, I've graded a number of great cards, I've held and owned a Japanese PSA 10 gold Giratina. I completed the Glory of Team Rocket, my first ever master set. And do you know what? I bragged about that for ages and banged on about how nice it was to slap 200 notes down on a vendor's table and buy Mewtwo outright, because at that time I could. I don't own any of that anymore. When I lost my job, that all went. That was the first thing that went out of this house. And to this day, to this very minute, I've completely changed my collection goals. Pretty much everything I collect now is playable, because I've gone all in on playing, and then I still collect my Pokemon, so I still got to finish Banette. I need to finish all the bats, so Zubat, Golbat, Crobat. I've started recently collecting Wheezing and Muck and Petulant and Toxtricity. I like poison types. If you have any poison type cards you don't want, give them to me. I'll take them. I don't mind. But I've changed how my whole collection goals go. I pulled Mega Starmie from pre-release. I will 100% state that I've graded that with Ace. If it tens, I'm selling it. And in selling that, I'm going to make my Alakazam deck and my Dragapult very pretty. That's it. I'm not flipping it to then go and do something stupid with it. I'm flipping it so that I can go and buy myself lots of pretty things because it's not a card I want. If I had built Mega Starmie / Frostlass, I'd run that card. Wouldn't bother me. I would pick that card up and I would go like this constantly in front of anybody that ever bangs on about money. If I had a bubble mute, I'd fucking do the shit like this forever because that's what they're there for. It's to be played. As somebody that's had to lose, and I would say a good 80% of their collection through genuine life just being a bit of a fucking bastard to me, seeing people just immediately get the biggest thing and flip it or win giveaways and then see them on your Vinted 2 days later, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But like Tone said, it's a shit look and a shit way to behave. You know, I get that if you pull a big Charizard and you grade it and then you sell it because you don't care about Charizard, and then you use that money to do something good for yourself, go on a holiday, start your own vending business, build an entire deck of SIRs because you run Terrabox because your name's Lucas and you've got to have the shiniest cardboard that blinds your opponent while you smash them 6-0. That's fine because you've done that for yourself. You're not just doing it in this like weird, twisted, look at me, I'm the coolest one ever. Oh, I pulled my Lugia Grail and now it's for sale an hour later. It's just, it's weird, it's strange. Just, in the weirdest way I can say it, just fucking collect the cardboard or play the cardboard or just don't fucking do either. I mean, I don't know who I am to judge. I'm just some bloke on the internet. But as a bloke on the internet, that's my sentiment in that statement. Thank you for coming to my Mush talk.
Weird one. Like, I get that if you've got something, it's not something you want to keep and you want to flip it for something else, it makes a lot of sense. But when you've won something or you've bragged about, like we've seen it before and we've discussed seeing people on their stories brag about, oh my god, I've pulled a Grail card, and then that Grail's for sale. How much of a Grail was it? Again, Mush, your circumstance was very situational, and I know you tried your hardest not to have to sell a lot of the stuff that you did. But then there's people that aren't in those situations, that live a comfortable life, that will still chase that little bit of money, even though it's a Grail card. And it's like, bore off, mate, honestly. Sorry, Ed, I don't know if I cut you off before you was going to interject.
No, I was going to say, the one that gets me is, like, if it's a giveaway, especially. Like, if you don't want the prize, don't enter. Like,
that's it.
To put it bluntly.
That's it.
And
like, I'm not a slab collector, but I won this in a giveaway and I fucking love it. And I can't get rid of it because it's such a cool slab. But there you go, I entered a giveaway, I won a slab. I'm keeping
just before any of our viewers get really offended that I've just ripped a card, that's an energy card that I've written all over. Before anyone goes wild at me in the comments, that was actually a proxy for an enriching energy that I was playing in my Alakazam deck.
But yeah, I think we've heard a lot about me moaning today, and I will end the moans here. But what I do want to do, and I want to remind, is every 5 episodes, as much as I've moaned today and we've missed a couple, I like to do some nice positive talk. So we're going to shift over the mood, shift over this negative energy, and shift over into a little tonal shift. So, negative stuff out of the way. I want to start by just, again, this is going to be a nice quick segment. I just want to bring some of the positivity back. And each of us, I discussed it with the lads before we started, we're all just going to go through and quickly say something that we're really thankful for in this hobby. And I will go last, but the first thing I want to start with as like a special mention before I talk about what I'm thankful for is I'm very thankful for these two lads. I don't know where they are on the screen, but I'm very, very thankful. I won't get too emotional. I know we've done our mental health discussions before, but I will just reiterate that my mental health in this hobby is sometimes in the gutter, and there have been multiple times that I have debated, unfortunately, maybe selling the collection or literally just keeping the collection, but coming off Instagram, coming out of the quote-unquote public eye, and just because of, as you can see in earlier episodes and earlier today, it can make me extremely angry, and it's not always good for my mental health. But if it wasn't for a load of other people that are actually watching, but I will say mainly these two incredible legends right here, I don't know if I'd still be in this hobby. So for me to still be in here and learning the TCG and finding a newfound avenue in this hobby, Mush, Ed, I'm very, very thankful for both of you. Thank you for reinvigorating my love in this hobby. And I just wanted to start this tonal shift as an appreciation of what you two have helped bring in this hobby for me, and bringing that joy and the love of Pokemon back again. It means a lot. So thank you both. But I pass it to you guys.
I think, first of all, you bastard. I wasn't expecting that. But I think mine sort of carries on from that. But as somebody that's always felt a bit of an outcast, never really knowing where they fit in like the world in general, because it's like I've been so many different things, I've done so many different things, but I've never felt like I've found somewhere that I fully like belong, or my own identity. It changes to be with the people that I like associate with at the time, but it's not who I actually am. I think my favourite thing that's come out of this hobby is just finding a place that not only I feel like I can express myself and be who I am in, as you boys will see in the podcast group chat, I chat an ungodly amount of bollocks. I will go off on a tangent very quickly, and I will tell you all about everything about a topic that you don't even care about, but it's because I feel safe to do so. And I will be a savage little fucker with the most sarcastic remarks when you've actually only just asked me how my day is. It's like it's not even 7:30 a.m. and I've already cursed your entire bloodline. But like the fact that being in this space with these incredible people, you boys at the very top, it's also seen me beat like my anxiety, my depression, like my mental health, my imposter syndrome, everything like that. That's just been like all these things, all these roadblocks that I've put in place for myself, or that annoying part of the brain just tells you, no, you're not good enough, these people don't actually like you, or they're going to judge you in person, they're going to hate you, like nobody cares what you've got, like what your collection is, you shouldn't be proud of owning XYZ, you know. None of that happens, and all of those things have been addressed by this space, and it's just the fact that these little bits of cardboard can have this much of a knock-on effect. All these opportunities we've had as a podcast, the fact that we've won an award, that we're going to shows quite regularly, getting to hang out, have wonderful times together, and it's all because of some little bloody card with some monsters on. Like it's just unbelievable. I'm going to call it like the butterfly effect, or the butterfree effect in this case, that comes from collecting Pokemon, and also all the opportunities that you do just have to go out and say yes to, because my god, you are missing out on a whole world of fun, excitement, friends, joy, everything, and we all can't wait to see you there. So please come join us at a show, get on Instagram, post your collection, tell me why you actually enjoy Trubbish as a Pokemon. I will respect your opinion. I'll slag you off offline so you won't see it, and we will all have a bloody wonderful time together.
Well, I mean, how do you follow those two wonderful things? I think Ed,
Stonks.
Yeah, it's actually I've never sold it. It's all in a safety deposit box somewhere just outside of Cairo. Ed, we love you dearly, even with your, absurd love of Klefki. Wait, it's
I would
just a
like
set
the
of
record to
keys.
state this was a lie.
I was waiting for you to just pull a
I'll
Klefki
accept
card up then. I genuinely thought it was coming up. And then I'll mischievous lock you. Yeah, I think to echo, reapply what both of you said, this whole shebang, as we've said a million times and we don't need to repeat it, but, this came out of an idea of a live stream on an app where people share pictures of their Pokemon cards, and I went, do you know what? I waffle a lot of shite. There's at least 12 people on the internet that will really appreciate it, and I'll need some backup. And without that whole community, without that Instagram space, I wouldn't have best mates. I wouldn't have best men at my wedding. That is right. They are both part of my best men. I couldn't pick one, so I picked four. That's always good. If you can't pick a starter, just punch Professor Oak and steal all of them. That's how that works. But yeah, I think while I appreciate that everybody's really grateful for the communities and the people, because I couldn't be here, couldn't continue to do, wouldn't have the effort to carry on with such and such because of you guys. I'm actually gonna swerve slightly to the left, and I'm actually gonna say I'm actually really grateful for this stuff, the playables, the decks, the new obsession, the new way to want to learn, the new way to want to create, collab, collect, etc. Adjectives, words, stuff, because without that, I would still just be collecting cards here and there, and especially with kind of how the start of my 2026 went, it would have been even slower, and it would have given me even less of a reason to be in the hobby, because if I wasn't playing and wasn't looking at building decks and kind of just absorbing all of it in, I'd just be doing what I was doing previously, but with absolutely zero income and expenditure and purpose and focus. So for me, I'm actually really grateful for the fact that because of Ed, and I will say it is Ed that got us into playing, it's given me a whole new lease on, I don't want to say life because I still have a life, but it's given me a whole new lease on 6-7. It's given me a whole new lease on life and understanding, and kind of from that, it's given me a whole new community because I've met people at my local league, which that store closing forced me to go to the slightly bigger league at the newer place, and I got to meet wonderful people like Ben, like Ted, like Kieran, like Liam, get to meet friends like Adam that I'm in a WhatsApp group chat with that I've never met in person. They just came up to me and was like, "You right, Mush?" And then when I realised who he was, I was like, "Oh wow, we actually talk like almost daily." And we've never even been there. Met a lad named Louis at my local league who is as autistic and obsessed with wrestling as I am. Draw for Tingus is something that we do every time we draw for turn. My God, does it get really loud and really strange in there, but it's these little things that from that new love and obsession and want and need has given me an even bigger kind of love and appreciation for the community. So it's like something small that's gone even bigger. It is that knock-on effect, and I am eternally grateful for it. And I will say as well, and I'm sure now Ed might resign from his position of best man, but I actually really like Trubbish. It's grown on me a lot. I got a shiny Trubbish.
It's been lovely seeing you boys. But,
I got a shiny one in Legends ZA, and then I evolved it into Garboda, and it's shiny, and he looks happy. He's a happy little chap. Got little cannon fingers.
But you can't polish a turd.
Yeah, but you like Klefki, so who are you to judge?
I do not like
Oh, but yeah, that's it. I think, and before I give it back to Tone, from all three of us here at the podcast, use code Pokepals at Imperium Grading for 5% off your next submission. No, of course not. I mean, please do that because they're great and we're great, and as a combo, that's great. But to you, the viewer, the watcher, the subscriber, the liker, the commenter, the sharer, hats off, hearts out. Thank you ever so much. You're the best. Please continue to. I don't know why I keep doing the J Uso. It's not like I want to run it back. pals. Tone, over to you.
But no, thank you, lads. I just wanted to share some positivity, and I will end with my actual one, which is echoing Mush, and I will thank Mush, and then through Mush, thank Ed. Mush will never accept his thanks for this because he's adamant it's all just Ed, but it was also Mush that pushed me into getting into the TCG. But I'm very thankful for having the TCG now in my life. I want to implore any of you that do not know how to play the TCG that are interested in doing so. And I spoke about mental health, and one of the things that I'm pretty sure, not diagnosed, but anyone that knows me, that has met me, is half convinced that I am very ADHD. And I think I am. I'm a crazy little shitbag. And a thing for me that takes a while on is locking into something without getting distracted. Now, if you are like that, and you get the 5-10 minutes spare, or realistically the hour or a couple of hours spare to lock in and learn this game, I highly recommend it, because I put it off for months and months because I just could not lock in. And then when I was able to, and I learned how to play this game, it is so much fun. And the further community that you find from it, like the people that are at my league store and the people that we meet at like EUIC, which is very TCG playing focused, people like Phantom Cards UK, who are all about playing the game, not just selling. You meet all these people and it gives this hobby a whole new lease of life. And I think especially the way the hobby's going, I don't want to be a big naysayer or like think really bad things are going to happen, but I'm not enjoying seeing the direction the collecting side of the hobby is going in. It's all very financial based, very financial focused, and it's a pain to see and can often get us down. The playing side of the hobby is still thriving, and the whole community is so positive, so welcoming, really friendly. And you find yourself a good league that's near you. You find yourself a whole new community of people that love the hobby for the hobby itself. Like Mush has said, I think earlier, and I've got someone myself at my league that runs a full deck of SIRs, illustration rares, and blinged out deck. There are people that love this hobby so much that they really do not care about the finances and will bend the hell out of a card and will riffle shuffle and be like, oh, you don't like that I'm doing this? Like, they don't care because they love to play for the card as the card is. And I am talking a lot about playing and all our TCG games. So let us move over and slam it straight down on the table as we move to Tabletop Talks.
Thank you ever so much, Tone. It is time for us to now to draw for turn as we play and talk about Tabletop Talks. It is time for us to recap all of the best and greatest things that have happened to us in the wonderful world of TCG playing. Perfect Order, at time of recording, has been out 2 to 3 weeks, and we all each attended a pre-release event at our local game stores. Don't forget to shuffle away the conversation when you're done with it. Now, at pre-release, we all managed to pull something good. Well, at least I did. As I managed to get the Barbarical deck, taking myself 2-1 into the top 4, and I pulled the Mega Starmie from my final 3 packs of Perfect Order. It was my first ever pre-release, and it was a really, really exciting and quite interesting take on everything, because you get a 40-card deck and you get 3 packs. Whatever you pack, you can add in. I packed absolutely nothing worth putting in that deck. I managed to get a Pokepad, which I put in. I dropped one Lacey because I thought, what the fuck is she doing in there? And I bunged in a Pokepad because I am, a fat cock legend. After that, it was basically a tale of two halves. So my friend Alex also pulled the Barbarical deck. In his first pack, he pulled the Mega Zygarde Full Art. And so that went straight in the deck, and basically all that energy acceleration from Barbarical, it was basically just draw for turn, attach, punch, everything you've got dies. We got into our first game. I had him over a barrel, and then suddenly Zygarde turned up, and I basically just bent over, lubed up, and said, "Thank you, Uncle." Game 2 came, and it got to a point where he was so far ahead, I went, "Go on, just flip Nullifying Zero and see what happens." Tone, your poster's fallen down. That was kind of like me in that second game.
Fallen.
Keep
talking.
And so, yeah. And then my final 2 games were both against the Tyrantrum deck. The first person I played, it was their first ever pre-release, and they were very, very new to the hobby. So I tried to be a bit slower, but pretty much it was a game where like you just got everything you wanted when you wanted it. And weirdly, Landorus took me to victory, which I think I might be the first human being, both real and animated, to ever say those words. Okay, and then third game was pretty much a tale of they couldn't get a fossil going. They just bricked both games. So I ended 2-1, came third or fourth, I think. And yeah, and then from my final 3 packs got a Rowlet IR and then the Megastarmie SIR, which I was very excited about. And as I did state earlier, I am quick flipping just to piss Tone off. No, I'm joking. I am doing it so that I can finally bling out the rest of my Lucario. I am looking at you, trainers, full art trainers. Give me all of your Zeroshiks and give me all of your Petrols. But yeah, that was my pre-release. So boys, what did you get and how did you get on?
So I initially actually had the Superior deck because for some reason at my store, batching was one hell of an issue. Of the attendance, I think 80% were running Superior, which when you are... I traded with a friend for the Barbaracle deck because I wanted Barbaracle for Mega Lucario in the future. When you're running that deck, it is fighting that is weak to grass, so I was in for a very bad time. I didn't really get anything of use out of my packs, but I did pull the Clefairy IR, one of the nicest in the set, and also one that 6 other people in the store pulled, which was very strange. So we just had the Superior Clefairy batching, and then someone else pulled the Mega Zygarde Gold that a dear chum of ours has also pulled, that he's flipping for quick profit. And yeah, I will say, when you go into a pre-release, it's always a bit risky, especially when you're just a punk with determination that thinks, I'm a boss around my buddies, and, it's always a rare experience to get the cards and draw that you need when you need it, but when you do, it is a wondrous experience. Some may even call it a mystery, but all of that incredible pun work to say that I actually lost every single game. I had a wonderful time playing, and Mush has neutralised me and hopes to future neuter me. So with that, I will say, get out to pre-release. It is a lot of fun. I did terribly, but getting to have the stamped promo from the deck is amazing. Getting hands-on and first impressions of a set is so much fun. I already cannot wait to do it for Chaos Rising. And yeah, it's just, again, another fun way of enjoying the hobby and enjoying playing, but in a different format where it's only 40 cards, 4 prize cards, and everyone's on the same sort of playing field. Obviously, you still have like the type advantages and disadvantages, but nobody's pulling up with like a bloody Gardevoir deck and you're running like Mega Lucario. It's one of 4 preset, and you get to sort of experience that. And again, there's just a different sort of buzz and atmosphere I find at pre-release, because there's a lot of like, I'm going to say unknown. Obviously, we all look at the card list, we all look at what the potential decks we could get, but seeing the artworks, seeing all of the artworks, all the cards getting to rip packs, and it's just like, oh, I'm one of the first people that's getting to do this, that's not on Whatnot. It's yeah, it's a lot of fun, and it's an experience I can safely say, even if you're not that big into the TCG, get down to a pre-release event. They are wonderful fun. And as well, getting to rip 7 packs of a set that's not yet released. I mean, it's worth your price of admission for that alone.
Honestly, it was a really good event, and it was so much fun. I think for me, I was extremely nervous, mainly because, again, I'll say the thanks one more time. These two, I build a lot of the many decks I now own because until quite recently, and even then I'm not one of the best, I am god awful at sitting down and planning a deck myself, especially from scratch. And yes, a pre-release isn't from scratch, but I have always been awful at deck building games because I can't lock into the many hundreds and thousands of cards there are and have to narrow it down to the perfect 60. And I'm learning, and I'm doing okay, and I'm starting to fend for myself a bit more than just begging Mush and Ed for deck lists, please and thank you. But this was the first one where I'm doing this on my own. I get 40 cards, I then pull another 30 to 40, whatever it was, and then I have to plan out of them packs what I'm going to put in my deck. It started the first 2 minutes of stress of, oh my god, I need to organise this and what am I putting in? But it was really freeing and really fun, and I actually really enjoyed it. I pulled 2 decent-ish cards from my packs. I got the full art Forest of Vitality, and the deck that I pulled was the deck I didn't want, which was the Superior. I really wanted either the Doublade or Tyrantrum because I love the Honedge Doublade Aegislash line, and I love my Dino boys. But I don't mind Superior. It's a starter Pokemon. I'll take it. And pulling Forest of Vitality art rare, everyone was like, are you going to save that for your set? I went, fuck no, that's going straight in the deck. And put that lovely shiny cardboard straight in. I also pulled, which wasn't good for my deck, but is a very nice art rare. I got the Probopass art rare. And then it come to the playing. First deck I went up against was Barbarical, which is weak to grass. And I absolutely wiped it away. 2-0, very lovely game. I was very happy. I was realising how good Superior can be, especially with Forest of Vitality. It's very quick to build up. And then Game 2 and Game 3 came along, where I lost both games. I lost both games in exactly the same way, because the one little downside of running a 40-card deck with a Superior deck and the way I was playing it, which was actually really strong. I faced Tyrantrum both times, and the way the Tyrantrum is played is when it attacks you, they then flip a coin, and if it's heads, they discard the top card of your deck. And I learnt a new thing in the hobby that I didn't know until pre-release, which is a thing called decking out, whereas if you lose your entire deck and you play through it, you lose. And both games where I was on top, and both games I had one prize card left, I lost both games which I was dominating to decking out, which sucked because both games I was one turn away from winning. I just did not have a card to draw, so I automatically lost, and that was painful. But it was very fun and a big laugh. Like, I found it hilarious. I was like, I never heard about this before, but I lost my last 2 games to decking out. If it wasn't for that, it would have been an incredible event. I would have won 3-0. Very, very fun, very interesting, but shit happens. But yeah, that was my pre-release. And then the packs that I got a very, very nice card. I only got one more pull, but it's big time money pull, and I got myself the full art Pokepad, which I was very happy about. And yes, it has gone straight in my decks.
It's mad that I'm actually going to be trading my Ace 10 Charizard for that.
What I want to know is,
If that's an open offer, yes.
what I want to know is, am I going to be the first one to have a Pop 1 Ace 10 full art Pokepad? Because if so, that is to the moon, baby, to the moon. No,
The way this is now played, I absolutely will not. I will say it's a clean as fuck copy.
I got one as well, and literally, I think I pulled full art Pokepad with the same sheer fucking will and excitement as I did when I pulled the Starmie. Our friend Lucas was there for both, and I think I literally was like, oh, Pokepad! And I also went,
Everyone in my
Stormy!
league cheered when I pulled this. Like, I went, oh, I got the Pokepal full art, and everyone was like, what did someone pull? I think someone pulled the full art. I think it was someone pulled the SIR Zygarde, I think. And this got a bigger pop than that did.
Yeah, we all know why. It deserves the bigger pop. So yeah, that's pre-release. To sentiment, obviously, what both the lads said. If you've never done one, go to your local store and find out about it. If you're unsure, you can. You can. I'm just blind now because that was so bright out of my screen. For those of our viewers that have visual or hearing impairments, you should be able to see and hear now from how bright that fucking card was.
I'm just flexing his retirement fund on us as well.
Unbelievable. Quick, Ed, this is the only time it's appropriate for you to get Bubble Mew out. But no, again, as I say, if you've never done a pre-release, please do find your local game store online, go and look at their calendar for events and get yourself down to one. Chaos Rising, at time of recording, has gone live in one of my three local stores. And I will be come payday trying to get into at least one of them, because I just, like they said, even though I performed well, I still had so much fun because everyone was just excited and wanted to like get involved and enjoy it, and that was the best part of it. We skim over into our own leagues now. So every Wednesday I play at Entoyment, War, Hobby, Crafting, I can never remember the full name of it, Entoyment in Pool. And after a rather dismal performance in a cup where I went 0-3 with Mega Venusaur, that's how much I'm going to talk about it. I decided that it was about time that I gave in and built the big meta. So I built Dragapult with the Dusk Bombs. I do have a post-rotation version that does now have the Meowth in it and Rose's encouragement for backup going into Dragapult if, it's all gone pear-shaped and tits up and all of the other things. And I went 2-1 and actually won 2, lost 1 with Dragapult on my first outing with it in person. It's one of those decks where I definitely enjoy playing it in person, but I find on PTCG Live, Pokemon TCG Live, it's either great or shit. There's no middle ground with it. But that joy of Recon Directives, Ultra Balls, Pokepads, Lily's Determination, like Tone said earlier, you can pretty much bury yourself out of any situation. Game 1 came up against Mega Lucario, and I felt really bad for the geezer that I was going up against with Mega Lucario because I've been playing that deck pretty much since I started playing. I know every in and out of it. I've played it myself, I've played against it. I know all the tricks and all the whiz and business. They never got a battle cage out. They never got going. And when they did get Mega Lucario out, it was just Dust Noir and then Night Stretcher, Rare Candy, Dust Noir, and then Phantom Dive and KO in that in the bench to take a 5-prize turn for game. And that happened pretty much back-to-back both games. I think game 2, I don't even think the poor chap got to Lucario. Game 2 had mirror match with Dragapult. When I tell you that was the most autistic moment of my life when we were both just vocal stimming and calling a judge because, Judge, I don't like my opponent, he's stinky. It was just it's one thing I love about my league is that we can have a laugh. Lost game 1, he got Budu out first, item locked me, got all the way to Dragapult, KO'd me. Game 2, I got Budu out first, item locked him, got all the way to Dragapult, and punched my way through it. That was it. And then game 3, because we were actually just having so much fun and such laugh, I forgot to put my prize cards down. So I took an immediate 2-prize penalty. And then he got Budu out and item locked me. And I think I had Budu and 2 Dreepies out. And he had double Dragapult, Dust Noir, and Latias and something else out. And I was just like, I'm just in the nicest way, I'm just going to scoop. Because, I'm not coming back from this, and you're going to swing one Phantom Dive, and I'm going to be left bent over, sad, dishevelled, and broken. And I haven't even been to the football or my uncle's house. So that was always fun. And then in Game 3, I came up against Ed's baby. I came up against Slowking. run by a chap named Luca. Lovely dude, honestly. Every time I meet him, we always have such a laugh. And my God, does he pilot that deck well? So, game one, round one, whatever you want to call it. He went first. Slowpoke out. Cure him out. Pass. So, okay. Maybe he's bricking it here. Sound. Double Dreepy Budu out. Itchy Pollen. That was fucking pointless. So he did Lily's Determination, Energy Attach, Slowking Evolved, Academy at Night, Cypher Maniac Code Breaking, all of it. And I just went, you're just going to put Curem top deck, aren't you? And I could almost want to reenact it, right? Because it was just too funny. So he's looking at his hand. And as I said it to him, he went, no, I wouldn't ever seek inspiration from this. And just straight wipe me. 110 across 3. Trifost is horrific if you're on the receiving end of it. And then game 2, I was like, right, I just have to be aggressive. There's no point fucking around with item lock. It's just go at him as much as I can. And luckily, his first couple of turns, he just didn't find anything he was looking for. And by that point, I double Duskull to double Slowpoke, Phantom Dive taking one, and the one on the active and one in the bench. And then he was just like, started going through his deck. He was like, I scoop. He's like, the other Slowpoke I run is in the prizes. He's like, I'm not going to get there. I've got no attackers. So, okay, game 3, everything out. I literally did exactly the same again and just took out the Slowpokes straight away. He Night Stretcher back a Slowpoke, so I bossed it in. I felt really bad when I was doing it, but it was like, and then it just got to a point where he was just looking at me. He was like, he showed me his hand, and it was just a handful of Pokemon and no way to get them out or put them anywhere. And so he just decided to scoop then and there. So I went 2-1. Slowking's a deck that I love the look of, but I don't think I could pilot it well. I thought the same about Alakazam, but the more I play it now, the more I think that actually I pilot Alakazam better than I pilot my own Lucario. Yes, it is a case of just draw and punch, but it's knowing about certain times to hit an enriching, to hit a Dunsparce and stuff like that. It's all about timing. I really like the look of Slowking, and if you are a player that enjoys a technical and very sequency, thought out deck, go and watch Ed's video on it, first of all, because if you don't, I'll give you the business. And second of all, it's actually really fun. And I might give it a little whiz later on after the podcast. But yeah, that was my league. Boys, how did you get on a league this week?
So I had a catastrophic experience, but it's because I was playing a variant of Mega Lucario that I hadn't had the opportunity to practice with beforehand because Mega Zygarde wasn't legal at the time on TCG Live. It hadn't been added. It was something that I'd pulled in pre-release, and thankfully, like, my casual league is a lot more relaxed, where it's like it's where you go to test stuff out and just have a bit of fun. So I went up against my sworn nemesis of Team Rocket's Honchkrow, which, when you are playing Mega Lucario, isn't the best, I will say. But after losing game 1 rather quickly, game 2, I did the unthinkable, got burped on, which gave me the strength to actually pull off a phenomenal, and I do not use that word lightly, board wiping nullifying 0 with Mega Zygarde. And I spent the whole of game 1, admittedly, as well, trying to build up to it, because I was like, I don't care how I perform, I'm never going to play Mega Zygarde properly competitively. At least I don't think so. A lot needs to happen in the lead up to me doing it. But I was like, if I can come to this league and pull off nullifying 0 once, I'll be over the moon. And when I say I took all my prize cards in that one attack, because everything in that deck is super squishy, my god, I was ready to just go home then. I was like, I've won. Discard your entire bench immediately. Yes. I had a wonderful time in doing it, and it made me think that actually Zygarde shouldn't be ran as a one-of in a Lucario deck, it needs its own deck around it, potentially a Terror Box deck, one that allows for multiple copies of like your Barbarical to accelerate as much energy as you can. The fact that I also managed to one-shot a Dragapult with Core Memory was unbelievable. Very fun. Didn't perform well, but that's exactly what I was expecting. I just wanted to go and have fun with it. I think going into my next casual league on Wednesday, so in 2 days' time at the time of recording, I think I'm going to take Arboliver and give that a good go, or Alakazam if the pieces arrive tomorrow. But because of the bank holiday and Royal Mail delivering Tract 48 in Tract 4 to 8 working weeks, jury's out as to whether or not I'll get it. But yeah, I think there's a lot more I'm excited about in this post rotation than there is that I'm fearful of. I just am also waiting on the Slowbro to come out so that I can have an even beefier Slowking deck. But until that happens, I'll make do with Alakazam, I think.
So yeah, I've been having a lot of fun. I think I've only been going to league for 6 weeks now, and funnily enough, this week a new league opened up on Monday night, so I was able to go on Monday and Tuesday. So I went to the drawing board, redone my whole Lucario deck because how bad it done the week before. I went 1 and 2, and the 1 was because I got a bye, so I would have gone 0 and 3. I just bricked it that hard, but no. So I went to this new league on the Monday night, and they were doing 5 single rounds instead of 3 best of threes. And I went 2, 2 and 1. The 2 I won against was a Lucario and a Kangaskhan, which the Kangaskhan was an absolute slog of a game. Jumbo ice cream and loads of other attachments and healing, and I could not just get my attack to land. I was playing Dragapult, and then finally I got a jamming tower, and I slapped that down, and it was a game changer, and I won. Lucario I beat quite easily. I drew against a Frostlass. I think that was just... It was a friend of mine at my Tuesday night league, and it was quite equal. And I could have won. I just had a very bad misplay. And the 2 decks I lost against were very obviously, if I'm playing Dragapult, it's always going to go bad if I'm playing against a Mew, Clefairy, Gardevoir deck. Absolutely destroyed. And then the last game I played against Genesect or Earthworm or Orthworm, and the guy on turn 2 had 10 steel energy set up on his Orthworm, and at that point, they're single games. I was just like, is there any point this game continuing? Well done, GG's. As for Tuesday night, I was planning to then run the Lucario, and on my walk up to League, I did a practice round of it, absolutely bricked it, and I went, I'm sorry, I'm going to run Dragapult again. I'm just going to stick with Dragapult. I did okay on the Monday. I will stick with it. I get in there. The first game I play against was actually quite an interesting deck. It was Butterfree Vivillon. And it was really interesting to see, but the one thing with that is Caterpie doesn't have that big health, neither does Scatterbug. And I was very lucky in the sense that I got Badu both starting hands, laid it out, item locked, and then once I built up a Dragapult, I was able to basically do two prize turns, 3 turns in a row with Dragapult. So it was very quick and very easy games, both games. My second game was against Slowking, and I was playing against this really nice kid there, but he was like bouncing off the walls, chatting a lot, and he was really nice, and it was going quite even until he finally was able to top deck Kyurem, and I learnt about Kyurem that day, and he had a 4 prize turn, taking out my Dragapult and 2 others because he'd already done some damage to Dragapult. And I just went, yeah, I'm scooping now to save time to try and get a 2-1 win. I managed to stall him quite well in the second game, got a win. Third game, I had the win in my hand. I had knocked Kyurem out already, so it was in discard, and I believe he had already used his Night Stretch, he could not get it back. And I had the win in my hand, but we'd run out of time and ran out of turns, so I took a draw on the second game, unfortunately. Third game came, and I was one of the top 2 tables, so I was in the top 4, and I was absolutely baffled by it, and I was looking at like, this is crazy. I've never been this high up. Like, I'm always finishing like around mid-table at best. And I went up against Frostlass. Frostlass Starmie. And for context, at the end of the day, first place, third place, and fourth place all were playing Frostlass decks. So I was playing against Frostlass Starmie, and it was a very close game towards the end. And I think he just did not get the right draw at the end. I did. I won the game. Second game, I think he did a couple of misplays. I had a lot of luck with Dusk Bombing, Night Stretchering, Rare Candying. He even turned around to me during that game. He went, "You don't run Rare Candy, do you?" And I went, "I'm going to Rare Candy into a Dust Noir." And he went, and just clapped me. And I got the win, and I finished League in second place. I'm absolutely buzzing. And I don't know if I'm ready to let go of Dragapult now, because getting second place was an incredible feeling. I think I voice noted you guys. I rang the wife. I was bouncing off the walls. I was in the car just dancing. Incredible feeling finishing second. And I would have finished first if I just had one turn left and beat that kid. But it happens. Second, I'm very happy with.
I always find it really funny when we have like our private interactions post-league, and I hear Tone shit all over Lucario, and I'm more often, like, I spend a lot of my time at my desk and I'm sat there with it in my hand, or I'm playing it on TCG Live, like, it's not bricking, I don't know what the fuck he's on about. And then about an hour later I'm sat in my bed nearly bending my phone like a fucking common card because it's bricked so hard that I've actually managed to build a full-scale model of fucking Silverstone. It is rancid. I do totally get it, but that's the joy of the game. It is, a lot of it is skill, but a lot of it is luck. Now, we must go against each other, because it's time for everybody's favourite triple threat as we go head to head to head as we play Little Card of Ours. And welcome back. It is everybody's favourite battle royal. It is time for us to go head to head to head in the world famous triple threat of Little Card of Ours here in the Pokepals Podcast. Now, all the time that we have been a podcast, we have gone head to head to head. God, that's a mouthful after a few times. And we've brought our own collections against each other. We've been to live shows and we've bought cards to go against each other. So now we've decided, as we have hit a draw, that from now on, not only will the winner be the winner, but they will pick the stipulation, if you will, for the next week. So, we've started on a draw, but the previous winner to this draw was Tone. So Tone has picked the stipulation for this week, which will be a playable upgrade in a deck you currently run. So no Joltik box shenanigans, Ed, wherever you are, what side of me. Yeah? Yeah, it's a playable card. Yeah, well, you know, fuck off. So, to go over the results of the last podcast, in second place is me with my Delta Species Crobat. It was a nice card. You're all dicks for not voting for it more. And then in joint first place is Ed with the Golden Devil of Giratina, and Tone with the Shiny Paldean Fates Charizard SIR. So, this will be how we will run from now on. Each of us will bring a brand new card to the table every week. So, for example, if Ed wins this week, next week he will pick a new stipulation. So it could say it must be a grass type, it must be a second stage evolution, it must be a common, It can be any kind of. It must be a
Must be a
trainer.
bubble
It must be
move.
a code.
Look
It
at
must
you.
be a code card. Anything can happen here on the Pokepals podcast. That's what keeps us so regular. So, Tone, as you've picked the stipulation, I'm allowing you to go first.
All right. I have got 6 cards from various of my decks all sat in front of me, and I'm trying to pick which one because we had a conversation beforehand, and I knew that I was immediately going to lose to the card.
This
Mush.
fucking little deck of ours over here. What the fuck
Yeah,
is
this
this?
little deck of ours.
Oh yeah, I've just got 6 little card of ours in front of me.
I'm only submitting one.
It's a triple
Chill
threat.
fucking
It's a
horses,
triple
all
threat
right?
where Tone is playing a one-man elimination chamber with himself, for God's sake.
I should, realistically, I should have won the last time, but Ed put a 3-day vote on instead of leaving it open. So
Oh yeah, and you
we'll
only
move
used
on.
47 burner accounts.
So let me use my 47 cards for my 47 burners and choose which one I'm going to play. I think I am going to choose, which is a card that I currently run in one of my lesser played decks that I've built for the fact that I love the Pokemon in it. I love the strat if I can get the strat running, and I feel like newer decks have made me stop playing it as much as I want to, and it's a deck that I'm definitely going to revisit. It is the Full Art Mega Sharpedo EX. An absolute stunner of a full art. The colour variation on the shadow form. I absolutely love this card, and it had to be part of my deck when I saw it. And it is in, of course, my Mega Sharpedo and Toxtricity deck.
GG's. Ed, me or you? Where do you want to be?
You go next, mate.
Oh, yeah. I think you should go next because you said that with far too much vitriol, vile, and venom in your veins. Yes, that's right. I've just brought out the William Regal promo from Raw 2004. I feel like Tone's just made me into Eugene. That's a very niche wrestling reference. Enjoy that.
I will go next. So, I think a lot of the time with this challenge, which has sort of spawned this this rule change, is that we often actually stop putting forward cards that we do truly love because we're going for whatever's like the most expensive, the most flashy, all of this sort of stuff. So
You mean what you do? Just to clarify, you're talking about yourself here, right? Yeah, cool.
Oh, yeah.
You do.
Just checking where we were on the I'm a dickometer.
Oh no, Ed likes to
Especially Mush. Like, he puts cards he always loves.
win. Yeah.
You put big shinies.
And this is I'm going to stipulate this is a little bit cheeky, but it is at the time of recording still legal and still in a deck that I do use.
He's going to put up Bubble Mew because he's going to claim that he runs it in Gardevoir.
It's the card itself in
And
your
it is
deck.
from Paldean. No, it's not. I just wanted to see your faces.
Yeah, because I knew you were going to bloody do it. Oh yeah, I actually ran it in my Gardevoir deck. It restarts a great ability.
No, it is. It is a phenomenal ability. And
The
free
card that
retreat.
you put on screen, Ed, must be one that you are going to put back in your deck sleeve
Yeah,
into your deck.
Yeah,
Not a
that's
card that you have that also is...
yeah, that's fine. That's absolutely fine.
So it's coming. You've pulled it out of one of your decks.
Can
the
I
card you're
please
about to
state
show,
that my card can't go in the sleeve because Lucas hasn't given me the sleeves yet?
But there's actually
fine.
a lot more to this, which is why I originally requested to go last. Now this is from a deck that is still legal, still playable, has still been played, as you will have seen if you'd have watched Orlando Regionals. It is actually a card that was in a deck of mine, well, the deck of mine, should I say, that I actually got this wristband with. The 2026 Birmingham Regionals competitor wristband, where I, actually did far better than I expected. And before Tone kicks off at me because he's such a rule stickler yet breaks them and does everything that he possibly wants to.
When
and
I
he's like,
break 'em.
oh Ed, you always bring big cards. Here's my Paldean Charizard, you knobhead.
That I actually love.
Oh yeah.
You said cards that people don't love, but keep one.
I am actually bringing, and this is testament to the change in rules because I know this won't win, because the Pokemon itself is shite. The card is okay, but it's actually the Goldengo EX Full Art. Now, the reason for me picking this card is not just because of the silly cheese string artwork. It is actually because of the memory that I have associated with this. This is the card that came with me to Birmingham Regionals. It was the deck that I played. It was the deck that I grew to love. It was the first deck that I ever actually felt confident with playing. And it was also the deck that I was using at the time that I got the boys into playing the TCG as well. Mush has many messages sent to me where he's basically calling me a prick for playing Goldengo against him. And I remember Tone's
I will
introduction
100% hold my hands up that I have probably stated "Make It Rain" is fucking wank, and you are a simp for playing that deck.
It might even be the start of the shit deck run by shit people comments.
No, we all know what shit deck was run by shit people. Yeah. If you think that that's you, it is.
But yeah, the fact that there's so many nice memories, and it was the very start of me playing competitive Pokemon, and again, something I never thought I'd ever get to do. I had to pick the Full Art Goldengo EX as my entry for this little card of ours.
Golf clap. No one cares about your stupid cheese string. I will, all piss takes aside, it's so good you can't really hate on it anymore. And it is really, really well run. And I like the fact that Ed ran a variant running Mega Lucario in it. Because why not absolutely throw him off by having the rock tech and then just, here's a punching dog. I bet you didn't see that one coming, did you?
Especially when, as well, on the day, somebody tells me that Mega Lucario is a dreadful inclusion in that deck, and yet, by some miracle, we almost ended up with the same record. So my deck that is terribly built did as well as one that...
Thank God they're not a gym leader, eh? Oh, right. Step aside, boys. It's time for Daddy to enter the room. So, I bang on about my love of Lucario all the time. When I first started playing, Wolverhampton Card Show, November, I bought the Mega Gengar EX deck box. Built it, took it to a couple of leagues and a cup, quickly realised why that deck is shite and why nobody was running it. It evolved very quickly into a Mega Sharpedo Tox box amalgamation, and I loved it. I still love it, even though I've ripped it apart and turned it into Mega Scrafty. It still will always hold a little place in my heart because it's the first one that I've ever done that's done well. But in the background of all of that, I actually remember the conversation because this was before Tone had started playing. And I said to Ed, I was like, I need a deck that's simple but punches hard. I need something that I can learn from. And he sent me a very basic looking Lucario build. And that was it. It kind of like from that I have grown as a player and as a deck builder and as an adapter. And often I will just randomly build like a version that has like 4 different trainer cards in it. And Ed's just like, I don't want to agree that I like that, but the tech in that's quite clever. Yes, good. Like little things that I add in, like Cypher Maniacs for Lunar Cycle. It just kind of guarantees you certain things. And the ability to prize check and make sure that everything's where it should be when you need it is really helpful. The boys know I've spent many a trade penny and many a penny of my own blinging the absolute bugger out of my Lucario deck. And at the weekend, I went to Buy Play Trade BPT in Southampton and traded in some old bits, including all of my Mega Sharpedo EX Full Arts, because I am committed to never going back. We only go forward. And I built Alakazam. And so that's why I'm bringing forward the Common Hollow. No, I'm joking. It's all a ploy. I am bringing, because it is in my Lucario deck, and I have played it since getting this, I am bringing the Mega Lucario Mega Attack Rare promo, because I am winning this week.
Imagine my shock at seeing that card.
I know. The funny thing is I really wanted to just pull out the full art Pokepals. I just thought it'd be really funny to play it.
I almost
because
did.
I'm,
It was right here.
in the words of Bruno Mars, I want to be a millionaire so fucking bad. But yeah, this deck has taken me from barely knowing how to play to going 2-1 and 2-2 at league challenges and cups where points and prizes are actually on the line. It is, for all its jokes and jives that it bricks, it is my best performing deck and has taken me from behind to victory and everywhere in between. I've beaten Festival Lead with it, so therefore it's clearly fucking phenomenal. I have also lost a Festival Lead many times, disclaimer. So yeah, I'm putting forward the Mega Attack Rare Lucario promo. If you would like to vote for my Punching Dog, Ed's Silly Cheese String, or Tone's Big Bitey Mouthy Chompy Shark. Oh god, do you ever remember Street Sharks? Please tell me you remember that anime.
Yes.
Thank God.
Yes.
Right, let's go put those in the Hall of Fame. Vote on our Instagram right now. If you are watching this, the vote will be live on our Instagram. You can vote for myself, Ed, or Tone. Winner will pick the stipulation for next week's Little Carnivals. We are changing it up, but it will still have the same shithousery as we go head to head to head in the world famous triple threat here at the Pokepals Podcast. But alas, we must leave all of this here. We must become friends one more time as we walk up the enormous stairs into the illustrious Hall of Fame. And finalement, you join us in the most illustrious Hall of Fame you can find anywhere on the interwebs. It is the Pokepals Podcast Hall of Fame, where we shine a light on something in our community and our hobby that deserves some praise. In our previous episode, I got really sentimental and made my friend cry. And Ed put up some tweezers and Tane put up some scissors or something. A piece of blue tack. I can't really remember at this point. What the point I'm trying to get to is that our wonderful and illustrious cameraman and friend Lucas is now an honorary member and is inducted into the Pokepals Podcast Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Lucas. Thank you ever so much for all the wonderful things you do for us here at the Pokepals Podcast. Please continue being you, but please stop playing that fucking terror box. Right, it's time for us to do what we do best. And it's time for us to shine a light on things that deserve to be shone a light on as we find our way to induct something new into the Pokepals Podcast Hall of Fame. I am not going first, and I am promising this week to not do some really long-winded sentimental thing first to ruin the entries of the other two boys. So I'm going last, Ed going first, Tone in the middle. He is the meat in our sandwich. Ed, over to you, my love.
So before Mush inevitably comes out with some bollocks about somebody he wants to put in because he doesn't actually care about people, he just wants to win the Hall of Fame each week, I am actually going to come with a rare and legitimate entry from myself, which I don't think has actually happened on the Hall of Fame yet, so here we go. I am actually going to put in binders. Now this seems like a very strange choice, but I want you to roll with me on this one. Now, a lot of people, especially myself included, as the Pokemon hobby develops, a lot of the time, people like to go and put their cards in acrylic slabs. I'm a big fan of it. I do it for my top grail cards, or if I am looking to maximise the value on something, and it's not something that I care about, I'll openly admit I grade and sell to use that money to buy the cards that I do actually want. But we have overlooked what binders actually gave to us and continue to give to us throughout this hobby. Now, a lot of people will store their collection in a binder. A lot of people will have binders specifically for master sets. I have recently purchased this massive, I'm going to have to slide myself back so that you can see for scale. I am a 6'4" man, and this binder is fucking massive. This is a 20 pocket binder that I am now using to house my Pokemon specific collections, where I am working to collect all of, say, Gengar, Dragonite, Nidoking. And what I really wanted to spotlight, other than the beauty of these pages, is how you are able to collect your own way, display cards in your own way, here are my Snorlaxes, and how customizable this whole experience of collecting can actually be. For instance, I have 48 Pikachus. I have, like, all the things that I enjoy are in this binder. All these things that I love about the hobby are in this. The way that you can collect, the way that you can personalise it, the way that you can theme your binder around Pokemon types, Pokemon collections, blue Pokemon with like blue backgrounds, anything like that. I know a lot of people do sleepy collections, for instance. I think that personalisation and the way that you can make your collection goals as relevant and unique and individual to you as possible and store them within your binder if using Voltex, code EddieBear, you delectable baddies out there. But I think that it's something that is so overlooked, but that personalisation that you have in collecting and how you can lay out your collection in a binder is something that is Hall of Fame worthy. So for me, it is an easy nomination for the humble binder.
Fair play. I'm not gonna lie, I was half expecting you to chat some shit, so I had our open pack of mini eggs ready to go.
I can
I actually like what you put in, and now I'm desperately looking around. I am going to put a half sentimental, half I actually think it's a really cool thing. Someone that we know in the Pokemon world created us this incredible artwork that I am going to put up as my entry into the Hall of Fame. I was debating putting deck boxes in, but all deck boxes come in different shapes and sizes. So instead of putting deck boxes themselves, this specific deck box has come with me to most places that I go. I've got a couple more, but this is the one that started it all. And you can see it comes with Time Zone, set code stickers right there, Squirtle. But what is the big draw, and the one I get a lot of questions about, I've even got stars and make a Gyarados just there. But what I'm actually entering is this incredible artwork that comes with me everywhere this deck book goes, which is the Pokepals Trio Art Rare. I am inducting the Pokepal Trio's Art Rare into the Hall of Fame. It's an epic artwork. It's all three of us with our starters. I absolutely love this card. It had to go straight in my first deck box, and it comes with me, and I get a lot of questions that, oh, what's that? And I'm like, it's me and these two legends that do this podcast. Go watch it. But that will be, and if I can get it out of this really tight deck box.
Let's not get it out on YouTube, Tone. We'll get cancelled.
But I want to.
This whole show.
But I am inducting this card into the Hall of Fame.
I think they're both really nice entries, and I think you've both done a wonderful job. And so I've thought really long and hard for at least about 30 seconds. I can't think of a fucking thing this week, so I'm inducting my dog. Yay! I'm putting
still gonna fucking win.
I'm putting Zeus, my little, my wonderfully handsome good boy and Dutch Shepherd Zeus. Zeusy Poodles, my little retard dog. Because he's special, like me. That's how we get on so well. That's it. I can't. I genuinely. I could think of a billion things that I'd want to put in, but genuinely, like, I cannot off the top of my head think of something that's like, oh yes, let's do this. And I could put in 3 or 4 people or a couple of memories that I have, but I feel like whatever I try and put in, Ed will basically. If you ever watched Armageddon 2002, when Rikishi gets chucked off the Hell in a Cell by the Undertaker, it might be 2001. It's around that era. But yeah, that'll be me with Ed if I put in yet another sentimental thing into the Hall of Fame, because heaven forbid I have feelings or a conscience. So I'm going to put my dog in, and if it wins, take that, or a shit band. You should deal with that, because that's That's what you get for picking on me. Because really, what I wanted to do is I wanted to actually just like really dickhead out and be like, I want to put in this photo. But then he would have had a go at me for like caring.
It's not caring. You want the win.
I don't need the win. I'm going to smash you both in little carnivores with my very handsome punching doggo. Because people vote the Pokemon and not the artwork. Remember that, guys. Remember that.
Yeah, and Lucario is a fan favourite with an incredible artwork.
And nobody's going to vote for a cheese string because they've all fallen victim to it. The thing is both of yours were really good, and I just have nothing to add in this week. So, dog. I've fully gone rough with it. And thank you ever so much. I'm sorry it was there. I couldn't help it. But yes, if you would like to vote for Ed and his wonderful take on the collection side of binders, if you would like to vote for Tone and the Pokepals Trio illustration rare, or if you'd like to vote for my dog, you can do so now over on the Pokepals Podcast Instagram page. If you haven't already, be sure to go over there and follow us. Make sure you follow Imperium Grading and use our code Pokepals for 5% off your first submission when they open at the end of April. Once you've done all of those bits, make sure that you go down here, wherever it is around here, click the big red button that says subscribe, give us a thumbs up, write a nice comment about how cute and handsome both Tone and Ed are, write how vibrant and ginger I look with a ring light, and then say really nice things about Tone's deck box. That's it. Episode 20's in the bag. We've done it. Recorded it. Now we're going to put it on the ether way for you to enjoy. We'll see you in 2 weeks at my stag do as we record a live and in-person 5-man booth Pokepals Pokemon Podcast. So long, farewell, and thanks for all the fish.
See you later.
Mad that Mush is going dogging after this.